I'm sad, Laura,
Why are you sad?
because we bought a new car today.
Which it shouldn't be a sad thing. Well, it is quite sad. It's a lot of money. It makes you feel quite sad. We had to say goodbye to our old car.
Yeah. Do you know what? For a few years now, I've been thinking about when we do change the car, how I'll feel when we sell the car, like our old car. Because the car that I had, let's call it the red car.
Yeah.
The red car we had was my first car.
First car.
So I'd never sold a car, never got rid of a car, never said goodbye to a car before. So I was very interested to see how I would feel.
7 years.
7 years we had it. And I was very curious as to how I would feel when I say goodbye to that car. And it was, I didn't cry, but I'm a very, what's the word? Sentimental person.
You hold a lot of value in things, and like when we moved house, you cried when we moved house.
Yeah, well, yeah, I did.
Because you were like, oh, this house. And I get it. Like, when you have a car, and it's the first car that we had to get, like, we graduated university and we thought, right, we're going to move in together after university. We should get a car. So it's the first car I haven't driven it, but it's the first car I've ever been involved in. The first car you've ever had.
You've ever slept in.
I had it for 7 years. And this is the first time we've gone, okay, we're going to get a new car. So it's very weird driving away from it today.
It's just so strange. Of course, like if you've ever sold a car, you'll know this. But we did a thing in the UK called a part exchange.
Yeah. So we sold them our car and
and it's just so weird because there's no fanfare. There's nothing about it. You just they just take your keys and then they give you the new keys. Yeah. And then just buy, and then you just drive away, and
you see your old car, and you're just like, okay, bye then.
Yeah, it feels really weird. I said it felt a bit like if you have to say goodbye to a pet or something.
Yeah. And that our red car is going to go to auction, and it's going to have a new owner.
Yeah, it's weird.
And someone else will drive it.
Yeah, it's really weird because you do hold a bit of attachment to it because I drove that away from university. We drove when I proposed to you.
We were in that
in that car.
We drove there to get married.
All of these kind of important life things.
We've done lots of moves. We've moved from apartment to house to another house. We've done a lot of stuff in that car, and you do hold memories in it. And I was saying it's a bit like when you walk around, you use your legs. When you move around in long distances, you use your car. So it's kind of like an attachment of yourself. It feels like this is how I get around with this car. And then what did it feel like driving that new car today?
Yeah, it felt like I was cheating on the old car a little bit.
I felt like you were driving someone else's
car. Yeah. Of course, very quickly it'll become normal.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really bizarre.
The red car was a manual and this is an automatic. How did that feel?
Yeah, that felt really weird as well. Why do you think people don't like driving automatics? Some people don't like driving automatics.
I'm going to be controversial here. I think if you love the mechanics of a car and you are fascinated by how cars work and you're passionate about engines and stuff, I'm sure it's great to drive a manual because you like feeling like I'm controlling this beast here, like I'm just gonna, I get that. But if you just want to go from A to B, I don't know why you would ever turn your nose up at someone in auto. Like I've had that before. Like I taught someone English and I said, I passed my test in a manual. Like I learned how to drive in a manual, but I haven't driven since the day I passed my test, and that was 10 years ago. So I've forgotten. And I said, I think when I drive again, I'll just drive an automatic. And he said, oh, that's not really driving. I said, I don't care. Like I actually don't care. Like I'm not Lewis Hamilton. I'm not like a professional car driver. I just want to sit in a car and go places. So I think the people who have a problem with automatic are the ones who like love cars and petrol and engines and that. For me personally, could not care less. I just want to get in a car and I would have a self-driving car.
In a manual, you feel... Would you?
Yeah. If they perfected self-driving cars and they sold it at the price of the car we just bought and they went...
But there's something about... I feel like there is something about using your brain and being in a manual car, you feel like you are like in control. You do feel like you're in control. Like I told my friends that I was buying a manual and my friend said,
automatic.
I told my friends that I'm buying an automatic and they said, one of them said, I don't trust the robots. Something. Obviously, it's a bit of tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so some people like the controlled element of it, which I understand. I do get it, because I did feel a little bit more like I'm relying on the car here to work.
But everyone says,
Of course, yeah.
once you drive an automatic, you will never want to go back. So that must prove that there is a certain loveliness.
But then all these people who say that's not really driving, what would somebody in a horse and carriage say to somebody in a car, saying like, that's not really travelling?
Yeah,
well, you haven't fed your horse, you haven't done all this kind of stuff. All you do is press your foot down.
Time.
You just put your foot on the pedal and you go.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then all the people in horse and carriages would, like, people who walked.
Yeah.
That's not really travelling.
Yeah, and even Formula One drivers drive automatics. That's all I'm going to say. Do you think, like, Max Verstappen's
Lando Norris.
I've stalled. They drive automatics.
Like yeah.
Well, I get it. If you're interested in it and if you like
No. Formula One cars are...
No, but in their day-to-day life. I'm saying like their day-to-day life will be automatics. But I think like...
Oscar Piastri. I just want to name some...
if you're interested in it, then I can imagine you love it. And also if you love classic cars as well, because all classic cars will be manual. So you maybe some people associate manual with like vintage and real cars and that stuff. And the automatics are all the newfangled ones, but I personally am ecstatic that we finally now own a car that I can have a go at driving. Of course, I could have driven the manual, but when you don't drive for 10 years, and remember as well...
But it wasn't 10 years. Like, you could have started driving that car 5 years ago.
Let me defend myself. I passed my test when I was 18. I passed it when I was in July. I went to university in September. So there was no point in getting a car in those months.
No, I get
that.
Because
the place I was going to university was Liverpool. It was right in the middle of the city centre. I couldn't afford a car. I didn't need a car.
No, I don't think students have cars.
No, you don't need a car at university. So I thought, it'll be fine. I won't get a car for uni. I'll live. And then when I left university, I was with you. You were driving, and happily you were a great driver.
And we weren't driving many places. Plus, then COVID happened, lockdown.
I didn't have a job that required a car.
And we worked from home, and then straight away it's like, we only really need one car.
Exactly.
And we were going most places together.
So I get it. Came up that I would need a car. And then what happens is you look at the calendar and you go, it's been 10 years and I haven't driven. And then I completely forgot everything. So now we've got this car, I'm going to learn again. I'm going to get my confidence back up, but minus all of the
faff.
I don't have to worry about like, I've stalled. I'm turning. I need to come down the gears. God. I can just go foot on the pedal. Lovely. And I can just focus on what's around me. And that feels so much nicer.
Scary.
How do you feel about me driving?
Yeah, very scared. Very scared because you've got no kind of spatial awareness.
I do. I passed a driving test. So I must have had some.
You must have had some 10 years ago. You might have gone worse since then. 10 years ago, you passed the driving test because you'd been practicing driving for such a long time, then you passed your test.
Yeah, I'll practice.
It's scary that you are legally allowed to drive if you wanted to.
Yeah,
that is scary.
But I'll do it in stages, so what I'm going to do first...
I think you should just drive to the shop.
No, I'm going to drive... We have a supermarket right here.
Yeah.
And when it's closed, you can drive me to the shop, and then we'll get in the car park, and I'm just going to drive around the car park. I'm just going to drive, I'm just going to practice parking, I'm just going to practice getting off and stop. All of that until I feel comfortable. Then the next step will be driving around this town. Just drive around the town, lovely. And then next step, maybe something else, but I'm not going to rush myself.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough.
Do you enjoy driving? Do you like it?
I do. I think, again, because we work from home, I like the fact that I can just switch my brain off a little bit, which is weird because...
You shouldn't be switching your brain off.
No, I know, I shouldn't be switching my brain off. But a little bit, that is what you kind of do. You kind of... I like the fact that I don't have to like look at a screen or anything. I don't get much of an opportunity to listen to podcasts usually in my day-to-day life. If I was like going on the tube to work every day, you'd have like an hour or whatever every day where you can listen to music, listen to your podcasts, audiobooks, whatever you want. Whereas I don't really get that. I could sit here and listen to a podcast, but I don't do that very often.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that the driving gives me a chance. Like if I had to drive to a choir rehearsal thing, and it's like a half an hour drive, I'm happy with that because I can listen. It's a half an hour opportunity to listen to a podcast.
And you are a very, very good driver, I would say. You are, and you've not had like a single, not even like a near miss. You've not even had like nothing. The only thing that's ever happened is we were parked and someone went into
Christmas
us
time
because
someone hit the wing mirror.
But that wasn't our fault at all.
No.
We were it was parked. We were miles away. So what makes you a good driver? Why do you think you've not had any issues? You're pretty good. What qualities?
I think your demeanour, is this the right word to say? Like your demeanour carries through into your driving as well.
Yeah.
So if you're a quite chaotic person or an aggressive person or even an excited person or something like that, you like all of these things are reasons why people like speed or and usually speeding is why people crash. And that's to do with, if you're excited to go somewhere, but so you can't contain that excitement. Or
aggression, I think, is probably a big one. Like,
or frustration or impatience, that kind of thing.
It's probably that kind of, come on.
Yeah.
You don't have that at all.
But then maybe I'm fortunate that because I don't drive every single day the same journey every day, I have the luxury of just enjoying being in the car.
That's so true.
Do you know what I mean?
Whereas if you did that trip every day and then there was someone slow in front of you, you would be like, come on.
Yeah.
Like,
or if you're late for work or something, you're going to get frustrated.
That is true. But I think as well, you're annoyingly really good at anything anything, end of sentence. You're really good at anything practical where there's a method and something that you need to do involving like your hands and whatever, just you do that. And you just annoyingly pick things up very quickly. So like if there's, I always think
the archery the other day.
Yeah, the archery. My mum had this little archery set.
It was like a kid's archery thing.
Yeah.
And Laura's nephews were playing with this archery thing.
Yeah.
And then I stood really far away, really, really, really far away from the archery thing. Yeah. And I just thought I told everyone hey, watch this. Let's see if I can just hit the target. Yeah. And I got the bullseye from really far. It was really far away.
I think any sport, right? If I gave you a sport instructor for an hour.
Okay, can I stop you there?
Not any sport, lots of sports.
A sport that doesn't involve strength.
Sure.
And doesn't involve a lot of what's the word? Not variations. There's what's the word now, Laura? When you have
lots of different situations.
Like football has a high changeabilities.
Variations.
Variations, no.
Variables.
Variables, that's it. Variables. So football has a lot of variables. You're not in control of that at every single time.
Okay, fair enough.
Whereas sports or games where there is a correct thing to do. Like there is a 100% score that you could achieve or 100. Yeah.
You're just good at picking that up very quickly.
Not very good at pool.
No, but either way, you're just good at that kind of stuff. And I think driving is one of those things. And you're also very level-headed. You're very sensible. You're very calm. I think you've got all the qualities for a very good driver. And your dad's a really good driver as well. So I feel like you saw a good driver. But I think I'm going to be fine. When I passed my test, my driving instructor said, I remember when I passed my test, I was talking to the driving examiner about James Bond. We were like, oh, who's your Bond? Oh, I quite like Sean Connery. I was calm, I was chill. The only thing I couldn't do in that test was park. And I remember it was my second time doing the test. And I was driving so well, and I was thinking to myself, Laura, you have aced this. This is really good. You've done such good driving. I'm nearly done, because he's saying, there's the test centre, pull in there. I was like, oh my goodness, I've done it. And then he went, just pull in there. And it was parallel parking. There was a car there.
Parallel parking is really hard.
I know.
No, I can't parallel park now.
It was a car at the front. And it was a car, but there was a massive gap, I'll be honest. There was probably a 3-car gap. Wow.
All you got to do is reverse in.
Yeah, literally. It was really easy.
Oh, all right.
And he went, just pull in there. And I was like,
you couldn't do that?
No. I just spent a lot of time going, just going
right, okay.
And I did it for
You never told me that. You said, you never described the part of the story where you said it was parallel park, where there was 3 spaces. Come on, Laura.
And I probably went back and forth about 4 times or 5 times. And then he went, I'll do it. And he leant over and he did that. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I've just absolutely
dropped the ball.
I've dropped the ball here, because I was doing so well. And then he literally, his exact words, right, well, I'm pleased to say you've passed, even though your parking was crap. His exact words. So he basically said, I will pass you, but you've got to work on that parking. And I never did, because I didn't drive after that. So my parking will still be awful. So I need to go to that car park and just practice parking. But our new car has a parking camera.
Does?
Nice.
Yeah, that's
weird. I didn't
weird,
have that in the other car that I learnt in.
That's strange, isn't it? Do you think that, what about UK roads and all that kind of stuff? Does that, what kind of roads are you excited to drive on or not? Because, I've seen pictures on Twitter X, whatever it's called. People like saying, like, it's clearly somebody from America saying, I can't believe this is a road in the UK, and it's just like a little country lane.
Yeah. I don't like country lanes. I like, my favourite road in the entire world is a lane for me and a lane for the oncoming traffic, and we stick to our lanes and we just have a lovely day. That's my favourite kind of road, because you just do.
It's quite frustrating if you get stuck behind a tractor, though.
I was saying this, I actually don't mind. Like I was saying about motorways as well. I was saying definitely at the beginning of my motorway journey, while I'm not confident with motorways, I am just going to stick in that left lane. I'm not overtaking anybody. I don't care if the person in front of me is slow. If the person in front of me is slow, I will take that as a lovely excuse for me to go slow. I'll go, oh, lovely, great. We'll just take
I remember I saw a picture, again, a tweet or something, or an X post.
I don't know.
I saw a tweet of someone saying that I always see a tractor in front of me, or a lorry or whatever, but a tractor in front of me as like an angel looking over me, like keeping me safe.
Great.
That's like stopping me from like driving too fast or something.
Yeah, lovely. That'll be
and
me
like
all over.
it's all about that perspective of going like, well, the universe has given me this, I've got to just go slow.
Yeah. And I will never be a speed demon. That's not me. I remember we went go-karting once. I remember I was about 17. And I spent the whole time just going at a very sensible, like 20 miles an hour or something. And everyone's going, so, and I remember going, you can overtake me, it's fine. Like, people can be fine. I was just like, la, 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 la.
Oh, God.
Because I don't like going fast. I don't like it.
Well, you have to go faster than 20 miles an hour in a car.
I know, but I will never go faster than I need to because I don't like it. I don't like going fast on anything. I am such a, like, just sensible, just drive sensibly.
But I'm a sensible person.
No, you are. And you don't drive fast, which is why I love you. But
what would you define as fast?
I've been in some cars with people and they're going like 95 on the motorway. And I'm just there like gripping the seat.
But some people wouldn't think 95 is fast.
I know. And some people live their life like that. Just, I don't know. I can't.
One of my friends, he'll know who he is, listening to this. He said he was in someone's car once. And you know that really straight road to go to my mum and dad's house?
Yes.
That really, like, it's like a mile long road.
Did he just put his foot down?
He went, like, not my friend. He was in the car with some other guy. And he said that he went about 150 or something like that. That's insane. Right? No. And Laura knows the road I'm talking about here. It's like, it's not a safe road to go faster than 60 or 70.
Feel?
Right? And then he was going so fast and the window was down.
Oh my God.
Right? The window was down. So my friend was like, the wind was in his face. And he had a scab on his face. And the scab flew off. The scab flew off because he was going so fast.
You look like a dog.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
I don't know how you can feel so indestructible as a person that you think, yeah, I'll go 150 and I'll be fine. I don't know.
Especially with someone else in the car.
And that's the thing. Have you ever like known someone for a bit and then you get in their car for the first time and you realise, oh, you're a fast one. And and they don't seem like it. And you go, oh my God, you drive so fast. Like someone I knew, I can't remember who it was. I'd known them for a while. I got in their car and they were like, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know. It's strange, isn't it?
Do it. That'll never be me. Because I don't feel myself as that indestructible. I just know I'll cause a problem and, you know, It is weird.
How do you have like? Are you the kind of person who has like a dream car or anything like that?
We're really not car people,
I'm not
which is good.
Petrol head, is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Well, in the future, what would they call it? Electric head.
It's good that we're not car people because it saves us a lot of money.
It does.
Because if you're a car person, the idea of buying the car that we just bought, they'd be like,
yeah,
like they'd rather be in like something really cool. But if I had to have a dream car, like if I had all the money in the world and they went, Laura, you can get whatever car you want, it probably would be a Land Rover or a Range Rover.
Land Rover.
I like big boys. I don't like low, little sports cars. I like big boy, move out the way. That's my kind of thing.
Hang on a minute. You just said that you want to go 20 miles an hour just sitting there.
Yeah, I can still go, but like slow and strong.
Who would get out of the way from you? Or are you doing the noise of somebody next to you going, get out of the way? Yeah,
I think that would be my dream. But with the car we've got is a nice sort of like high and boxy is what I like, rather than low and sleek. Like I don't, because low cars and small cars, I don't find them practical for living in day-to-day life. If you're driving like, you know, on an empty autobahn, I'm sure it's great.
Autobahn
in Germany, it's called the Autobahn.
Oh, I don't know. No.
So the motorway in Germany is called an Autobahn, and it's no speed limit.
Oh yeah.
So if you have an empty Autobahn, I'm sure it's amazing, and you feel like James Bond going like. But if you're driving around a village in the UK, you probably just need something that's just gonna.
Yeah, it's
reliable.
very strange. It's very strange.
Well, I'll keep you updated with my driving journey. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to take it slow, don't worry. I would never put myself in a situation where I think I'm not ready. You know I wouldn't. I wouldn't just get, even though I could, because I've got a licence, I would never just jump in that car and go, great, off I go. I'm not insured, true. I will get insured before I drive, don't worry. Yeah.
Interesting, yeah.
Right, should we go and take it for a spin?
Let's go, baby.
Oh, that was kind of half.
Let's do the pop thing. Ready? Ready?
What?
You got to make it... No, loose. Ready?
What are you supposed to be doing?
Like
I
that.
thought you were going to do like a...
No. Just like, ready?
Yeah? Oh, wasn't it? Oh,
that was a good one.
What's the best concert you've ever been to?
Oh my gosh. I haven't been to many concerts, to be honest.
No, we're not big concert people. We've been some, but not a lot.
And I think some people go to more concerts a year than we have in our entire life.
Oh yeah, some people love it.
Some people love it. The best concert I've ever been to, I'm gonna say, I haven't been to many. The 1975.
Yeah,
Gotta be.
I do like them. I think sometimes real like music lovers get a bit snobby about them.
Do
but
they?
I think, yeah.
Why? I would think the opposite. I think they're quite
because they're like
not highbrow, but
well, here's the thing. I think why is it? Do you think that people who love real music, they always seem to like older music? You know, like there's people who go like, well, they don't. You know, music isn't as good as it used to be. Why can't they appreciate the music that's around now? Do you reckon music has just gotten worse?
I think it has.
I can probably appreciate if you grew up in like the 70s and you heard, you know, like these amazing bands and whatever, and now you realise that, oh, making music is so much easier because you can literally just like, you can train a keyboard to sound like a guitar and you can just go like, there you go. Whereas in the past it used to be like, that was a good little melody that was, wasn't it?
Was. Hey.
Don't you steal that.
Mark Ronson.
Whereas like in the past you used to have to actually be able to play it and everyone played their instruments and everyone played live.
Well, put it this way. I think any kind of band pre-80s and before, any music I hear, I'm imagining people playing the instruments. Yeah. Whereas if I'm listening to Sabrina Carpenter...
Hey, don't say her with that tone. She's great.
Sabrina Carpenter. I'll say it again. If I'm listening to her, I'm not imagining there's a band with her.
No, you can't imagine instruments.
No, you just imagine there's the vibe behind her.
There's a track and she's singing. And so I can imagine you might look at that and go, well, that doesn't take much talent, does it? Like, where are the musicians? The art? I get that. I do get that. But that doesn't mean it doesn't sound any worse. I don't personally think. I think it's some amazing music is being made now, and I really like a lot of music now. And there's just different ways of making it, but I understand if that's what you're used to, you're probably a bit like,
I do disagree.
Oh, can you hear the difference? But you like the 1975.
Yeah, but I think they imitate kind of, they're impersonating.
And they are an actual band, actually, aren't they?
They're a band, and they are impersonating genres, and they are actually, imitating.
Is that a good thing, to impersonate and imitate in music?
No. But I do think that the 1975 do it in an ironic way. Like they do it and they make a point of it. Like we are now doing a parody of this style of music now, and it's quite meta. There's this thing with films as well where there's like we're in this weird thing now with films now where it's like something like ultra meta films or something where people are making films that look like they're made in the 70s, but the people in it know that they are making a film that is set to be in the 70s. So it's this kind of like self-referring kind of like weird thing. And I think that music can be like that. Good music now can still do that a little bit.
Sabrina Carpenter really does that. She's just released an album where she's really referencing, like one of her songs sounds exactly like an ABBA song. It sounds very ABBA.
Yeah, I know it did.
The other one's very 80s, very 70s. It's very hard.
I feel like you can't, Matty Healy from 1975 said this in an interview. If you imagine a song from the 80s, you know what that sounds like. Song from the 70s, 60s, even 50s, 40s. But if I said to you, what's the sound of the 2020s? You can't really... You can't
say that now, but if I'd asked you that in the 2010s, if I'd said, what's the sound of the 2010s? You'd gone, I don't know. But now when we hear a song from 2010, we go, that's very 2010.
But I think now that it's
Like,
things are moving...
Whoa, it's very that kind of stuff.
But I think that it's moving so quickly that now, like, a song, like, we know, oh, that's very 2012. We say, like, it's very 2012. Yeah.
Very that.
And that's very different to 2016 or 2017. So it's moving quicker now because
True. There's not like a solid sound of the decade.
No, because of the internet.
Yeah.
Because our own, this is really weird, our own quickness, what's it called? Like short attention span.
Yeah.
Our short attention span is reflected in how quickly music moves on.
Yeah, sure.
Well, you told me that Sabrina Carpenter needs to make a second album within a year because
you've got to ride the wave. I was about to say, it's so hard to make it as a musician now. I think the way that it seems to be, if you want to make it as a musician, is you need to become TikTok viral. That's kind of like a surefire way. So there's an artist called Lola Young who was making music and then she had that, 'cause I'm too messy, and then I'm too clean. Remember that song?
I've heard it.
Now she's like a musician and she's like releasing albums. Same with Sabrina Carpenter. She was making stuff, but then Think About Me, that got really popular. So like you have to, but then I can imagine if I was a true musician, I'd be so annoyed by that. I'd be like, what do you mean I've got to like, and then, yeah, Sabrina Carpenter, she released an album one year and then had to release an album the next year just to keep in the public eye and to keep,
So you're telling me if she hadn't released an album, you're telling me that people would have forgotten about her?
Not forgotten, but it's a lot harder now to make an impact and to like sink your claws in and go, I'm staying here. Like it's very easy to become a one-hit wonder. That's so easy.
No, I agree with that.
So she has to kind of go...
But could she not have, if she'd have released a second album, not even a second album, is it really? It's not a second album.
No, it's like a seventh.
But more like, on all intents and purposes, it is her second album. If she'd have released her second album next year, so waited 2 years, you're telling me people would have gone, who? Oh, that girl who sang that song about coffee.
But people are musicians want to become huge. And it's like it's very easy to be you can be a successful musician, but if you want to become the Beyonce, you've got to become like so well known, and so that does take a lot of push and like.
But do you think because of TikTok and stuff now, it's an oversaturated market? There's so many. I'm sounding like an old man now, but there's so many just like singers that I have no idea who they are.
Yeah.
Bands that no, they're not even bands. Do you remember this whole thing about that? Apparently,
there are no bands
there's
anymore.
no bands anymore. Something like, and again, I'm the king.
Bands are mostly like K-pop. That's where all the bands are.
Do you remember? I remember this statistic that in the first half of the 2020s, so now we are in 2025, so we are halfway through this decade now. There's been 3 UK top 40 songs
from bands,
and one of them was the Beatles.
Yeah, you don't get bands anymore.
It was the Beatles, the Little Mix, and it was a K-pop? Charity song for children in need, I think. So literally, like, except for basically Little Mix, it's basically like no bands anymore. People
have been trying. Like, there's been many kind of bands that have tried to like push for. There's not the appetite for them for some reason. I think everything goes in waves. You know, in the 90s it was Band City. Like everything was a band. You know, like all these groups and whatever, and it just fades off. They'll come back. But I think K-pop has kind of just taken the band market. I feel like people don't feel like they need to listen to any bands because they've got K-pop. It's like there's so many K-pop bands. So many that they go, great, that'll do.
Sorry, I don't know any.
You don't know any K-pop bands? Oh.
I know, what are they called now? Oh, no, I can't remember what they're called. So what are they called?
But the one I like?
No, the main popular
Blackpink.
one. No. Boys.
Oh, BTS.
BTS, that's it.
Yeah, they're BTS.
I don't know if it was BTS. I'm not sure. It might have been. How long have they been around for?
Oh, a while now.
So it might be these. So I remember when I went to New York with school, we went on a school trip to New York, like some people. And there was a girl who went with us.
Yeah.
And she was obsessed with K-pop bands, right? And at that time in like 2011.
I don't think they're that
old.
That
was pretty niche.
I don't think they're that old.
Okay.
There would have been it could have been Big Bang. I just know about K-pop, man. It could
I've
be
never heard
bang,
of
bang,
that
bang. I'm pretty sure that's
Okay, by the way, let's say 2011.
Yeah.
She was obsessed with K-pop, which was a very niche thing
It
at
was
that
a bit
time.
more niche, yeah.
And it was like her thing that she was obsessed with it, and people used to like take the mick out of her for it and things like that. And then we were in Times Square, and they were there.
No.
They were just there, doing
Filming
filming something, and she was like crying and everything.
wow.
What were the chances of that?
Oh, wow. I bet that was the best day of her life.
We just bumped into them.
Who were who do you remember was your first kind of like
What was
musical, I like this artist? Like the first person you remember going, this is an artist
so I didn't have an interest in music at all. I remember learning the concept very late on.
Oh, wow.
That like the person who sings the song is actually quite important. I used to just think that like, there's just songs that get sung.
Yeah.
And then I remember kind of realising, the same person that sung that song, which I like, is the same person who sings that song that I like. Oh, maybe I should listen to more songs from that person. And I remember thinking like, I've figured out
Figured
something.
this out.
Yeah, for some reason. And that's when I was like 11.
Yeah.
I didn't have any kind of, I wasn't bothered at all. But the first person was Tiny Temper. Tiny Temper, for some reason.
Who's a UK rapper.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know why.
My first one was Avril Lavigne. I loved Avril
And
Lavigne.
how old were you?
6.
Yeah.
I loved Avril Lavigne. But I used to watch religiously the music channels at MTV. Like, I don't know
What is
why.
MTV? People talk
just
about
music
MTV.
videos.
It was just music
If it
videos.
was
Is it
music
still?
videos-
Is it on now?
No,
Still?
I think YouTube killed MTV really
Right.
because you can watch whatever music video you want. But it was basically just music videos, and I was obsessed with just watching like how like songs and like the music videos that went with them. So
Like the visualization.
yeah, if you give me a song that came out in like between 2002 and 2004, I can probably tell you like what the music video looked like.
See, I'm not even, that wasn't even, music wasn't on my radar at that point at all.
No, I loved it. Or maybe later than that. Maybe like, yeah, either way. So I was quite into it. And then I remember getting a Walkman, which makes me sound older than I am. But I think it was my mum's kind of first introduction to like, you could take, so I had like a CD player that you carried around and some headphones. And I remember just being obsessed with like listening to stuff. But bizarrely, and this is awful, a big musical education for me was Glee. I learned a lot about different bands and different artists from
We often say
80s.
that now. We
Yeah.
often sometimes like we'll be like in a shop and then some song is playing on the
From the
speakers,
70s.
and we're both singing along, and then I think, do you know this
Glee, don't
because
we?
they sang it on Glee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which some people might laugh, but now
We
I
weren't
know-
around. We
Yeah,
weren't
I
around,
wasn't there.
sorry.
So now we know a lot of songs from the 70s and the 80s.
But then
the
I do get it.
60s.
Everyone not everyone, but a lot of people hated when Glee did Don't Stop Believing.
Oh, I bet they did.
And I get it now.
Yeah, of course.
Because if I get it. The Journey version is so much better.
Yeah, of course. I'm not saying it's good, but that was a big musical education for me. And I went through a big Beatles phase. I love the Beatles. I still love the Beatles.
In the UK, there's I don't know if this happens in other countries, but in the UK there's a CD called Now That's What I Call Music.
Oh, it's like a music compilation.
And it's like, I don't know if it used to be every year or every 6 months or something, but they used to compile the number ones or like
Just
the
like
most
the most
popular
popular
songs
of that year.
or those 6 months or something like
Yeah.
that. I don't think it's every year because they've been going for about
Every
60
6
years.
months probably,
So it's
yeah.
probably every 6 months because now they're on like Now That's What I Call Music 160 or something,
Yeah,
which is
mad,
crazy.
yeah.
Because the first one I bought was Now That's What I Call Music 70,
Right.
I think. And I remember the cover was like a beach thing, and every one is different. So there's like different numbers, and there's
Yeah.
like a different theme for each one. And I remember that's quite a nice way of just listening to popular songs.
Well, before streaming, if you just want to like listen to a group of the popular songs before we had Spotify, that's a
Yeah,
great way.
because otherwise you'd have to buy an album with all the songs from that
exactly.
singer.
No, it was a great thing. I had a now.
They started as like tapes,
Yeah.
and then they became CDs, and now like you can just get them
A playlist.
on on Spotify,
Probably.
which is weird. Yeah, is there any type of music that you don't like?
I can't get into heavy metal, screamo, death metal.
No.
I can't get into that. It's not
I
my
mean,
world.
look at us.
But I mean, yeah, clearly it's not my vibe. But like, I can respect it, and I go, you know what? Sure, I'm glad that music exists for those people because I'm glad they like it. But
I
for
don't
me,
get it at all. Like, I don't even understand it, to be honest. Are you talking about just literally people going like, rah, rah, rah?
Yeah, that. But some people love it.
Yeah, no,
And
of course it's very popular. It's more popular than classical music.
If you love that kind of music, everything else feels really tame.
Oh yeah, well if you listen to that, then you hear like Sabrina Carpenter.
You'd be like, oh, this has got nothing to it. There's no.
But then it's interesting that music is like with food. You could say like if you love curry or something, and then you have like a cucumber sandwich, you'd be like,
what's this? Doesn't taste of anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, of course. So I can't get on board with that. I'm not a big lover of like. Actually, that's probably the only genre of music I wouldn't enjoy listening to. Everything else I could find enjoyment in.
Folk music?
Yeah.
You don't like kind of sad songs?
Oh, here's a big thing about
melancholic
music.
kind of music.
I am a big believer that music sets your mood, and I have always preferred listening to upbeat, happy songs because it makes me feel upbeat and happy. If I listen to like a sad song, it makes me feel sad. So if I'm choosing what song to listen to, I don't know why I would choose to listen to a song that would make me feel sad versus a song that would make me feel happy.
I understand. But but I'm sure people will tell us in the comments here, because please agree with me, please, on this, that sometimes you just not want to feel sad. I'm not saying that, but there's just about allowing you to feel those emotions at that time. So, for example,
I don't have any sad emotions.
For example, if I had a cat and I had to take that cat to the vet to get it put down, and then I'm getting in the car and I'm like, I'm sad, but then I just put on "Celebrate Good Times, Come On" like this, it would be quite a what's the word? Like a kind of a clash, wouldn't it? It would be.
Okay, in that situation.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in that situation, I would allow myself maybe just the journey home, just to go, do you know what? I'm either going to not listen to music, or if I'm going to listen to music, maybe I'll just listen to something quite reflective or something, just to help me think of the cat. Okay,
so what I would go in that situation is I would go for inspirational music. So I'd go for like, I'm not going to just listen to like, I'll listen to something that's a bit like Enya or something that's a bit kind of like, it gives me a moment to appreciate what I've had with this cat, like, hey, I don't know, hey. There's a song that goes like that, and it's kind of like uplifting but reflective in the same way, because that would set my mood as, yes, I'm acknowledging the wonderful times I've had with the cat, but I'm also acknowledging that, you know, what a wonderful thing that was, and we're moving on. What I don't understand is wallowing music, where it's like you just wallow in the sadness.
I
like kind of just, yeah, I'm sad, that's awful, and I'm just thinking that's awful. That is what I don't get.
I do think that there must be something in that, because when I was a teenager, if I think back now, when I was a teenager is the time in my life where I did listen to that wallowing music the most. And it must be something to do with like your hormones and stuff.
Angsty.
Yeah, angsty kind of music and things like that a little bit. But yeah, no, I get listening to sad music sometimes. I have a playlist on Spotify. Like, I don't make the playlist, but I just find them. Is that right? You find this playlist, and it's called like the most beautiful songs in the world, and it's just like these random songs you'll never have heard of before, and they're just little things like, oh, it's just someone playing the guitar, and sometimes in the car I'm in the mood to listen to that because I just am.
It just doesn't get me going. Like, for me, music is like a. Come on,
an energizer.
Boom. Yeah, and I love...
No. Sometimes I feel like it's like it's something just to sit back on. I get
bored when I listen to music like that. It kind of bores me. I want like... And also I couldn't care less what the lyrics are. I am so not a lyrics
this
person.
Is where we are very different.
You could literally go... As long as the melody and the vocal... For me, it's about... vocals, they're an amazing singer. Beat and melody, great, that's all I need. The lyrics, that's what I like. I don't mind. K-pop, I don't know what they're singing, but I don't care, because I just love the song, like, woo, whatever. But some people really value lyrics, I don't.
I'm the complete opposite.
That's really interesting.
I would listen to a song that, there's a thing in Welsh called Cerdant, where you have someone's going to correct me on this. Well, no, probably not. But where there's like a poem. It's like a poem that is put to music,
Right.
basically, and you have to create like a melody for that poem.
So it starts with the words.
So maybe because of this, like for me, there's this culture of like listening to the words and what you're saying is very important. Maybe, you know, whereas you grew up around brass bands where it's just instruments. So that's what matters to you, is just like what it sounds like rather than what they're saying.
And also singing as well, like the vocals. Like, it's like you could sing, if Beyonce could sing her shopping list and it would be amazing. Like, I don't care what she's singing. I care about the vocals that are coming out. You know, that's
whereas like I remember that I saw like a video on Instagram about, it was like a guy in an Irish pub, and he's like singing a song about like a Guinness, and he's going like Al Jorgel Mighty, Al Jorgel or whatever it is. And so you wouldn't like that. Whereas I like listening to it going like, oh, he's described the atmosphere of the pub.
Yeah, that's a little bit different. That's like a poem, isn't it? That's an interesting thing. But yeah, my top played artists for the last 5 years has been Beyonce, without fail. Because she ticks all my boxes. She's an amazing singer, an amazing performer. Her songs have great melody, great beat. I wouldn't consider Beyonce like a wordsmith as much as other. I mean, I don't think people often talk about Beyonce's lyrics.
That's why I like the 975.
Yeah, but lyrics are
Matty
good.
Healy is one of the greatest lyricists of our generation.
He is. I think he is.
I think he is.
But I think Beyonce sums up my style. She sums it up. I want to listen to someone who is a powerhouse vocalist, can dance, can sell the song.
I think you just like happy music because, like, you love Beyonce, but then sometimes there'll be a Beyonce song and I'll say, "Oh, this is Beyonce. Oh, do you like this song, Laura?" And I'll say, "Oh no, I always skip this one
because it's a slow one."
Because it's a slow one. But like,
no, I do like some of her slow ones, but I prefer like the ones.
I remember when I was a kid. When I was a teenager, I used to walk the dog and download entire discographies of artists and just listen to literally all of them.
I did that with Michael Jackson.
And I used to go for like maybe 2 walks, like kind of one on a Monday, one on a Tuesday, and I'd go for like 4-hour walks each time.
Yeah.
And I just listened to all of their music.
It's good. It
just so I can tell me, like, so I can say like I've listened to all of, and I did things like what's the blind guy called?
Stevie Wonder.
What's his name?
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson, yeah. Train.
I weirdly first listened to Michael Jackson properly on a train.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
I remember I was sat on a train and had a bit of time and I was like, what should I listen to? And then I remember just thinking, I've never properly listened to Michael Jackson. Like, I've listened to stuff, and from then I was obsessed. I loved Michael Jackson. Again, sums up, great voice, great beats, dance, performer, just brilliant. Well,
just one more question, sorry. Who is, I know the answer to this, and you're going to say the same answer as me. Who is the most underrated performer right now? Bruno Mars.
Yeah, Bruno Mars is brilliant. He should be
not like more. Bruno Mars with a hat. Bruno Mars now.
No, fantastic. Yeah, he's very good. Yeah. He should be 10 times more successful than he is. He's already very successful, but very good.
The Prince of Pop.
Let's go listen to some Bruno Mars. Ow. You made a hand sandwich. Are you a bookworm?
Definitely not.
No. We're really not qualified to talk about this. But I have read books.
Oh, have you now? Congratulations.
I have read books. Why do you think you're not a reader? Why hasn't that become a hobby of yours? Statistically, apparently, men really not readers. Like, apparently, really? On Richard Osman's podcast, he said that the statistics are heavily skewed to women in fiction and heavily skewed to men in non-fiction. So apparently, like, fiction books are mostly read by women.
Okay, interesting.
Non-fiction are mostly read by men. So
do you think it's because women fantasize about being swept away?
No, I think it's probably, if we're going back to biology, probably because we have a more maternal instinct. We're a bit more emotional, so we like to go into like stories of people's emotions and lives, whereas men are a bit more like, just want to know the information.
Interesting.
But why do you think you're not a reader?
I don't have the attention span, I don't think.
Do you think? Maybe you should force yourself to read to grow the...
Yeah. No, I agree. I think I prefer if there was a book. Like, for example, we watched the film recently, Caught Stealing. And that's based off a book. I'm not going to read the book.
Well, you've watched the film. Right?
I've watched the film, but like,
if that story of the film was sold to you as a book and went, okay, so it's this guy and he's caught up in his drug deal, whatever, you wouldn't read the book. But if I sold you to that as a film, you'd go, oh, what's that?
Yeah.
I think books, they take a while, don't they?
They do, but then that's what's good about them. But then do they take a long time? If we know people who could read books very quickly.
Yeah, my sister-in-law reads a book in like 2 days.
And I actually think you read very quickly.
I do read very quickly. When I put my mind to it, I can read very quickly.
Could read a book in a couple of days, I feel.
Yeah.
Which is great, which I think is crazy. I still have this kind of child mentality about books, where I just think like a book takes like...
You are a bit of a slow reader. I'll be honest, you do read quite slowly. So I'm not surprised.
What do you mean?
Well, if we ever have to read something that's like, we're reading it together, I read it, and then I'm like, I sit back and I see you still like, it's just...
Yeah.
And then you go, I'm still here, and you point to like the second sentence. So I think you are
because but then you've done this with me before. You verbalised what's going on in your head. You've gone, and I'm thinking, whoa. You've skipped or you've skipped or you've skipped, and you say, yeah, I'm just getting like...
You don't need the thes and the us.
Yes, you do.
Not when you're reading.
Because it could be I saw the snake or I saw a snake. That's important. That's important.
Yeah, but my brain can register that at that speed.
See, I have to read it like in my head. Like when I think, when I'm thinking in my head, are you thinking? Are you saying words in your head? Like
no.
If I am, you see.
Oh, like, so you're reading every word.
Of course I am.
Like,
that's
there
reading.
once was a boy who went to...
Yeah. What would you say?
I'm just not reading them out loud. I'm just taking it in.
I don't get that. So I, like, if I was thinking, oh, it's hot outside, my brain would literally, in my voice, say, oh, it's hot outside. Like, that's what happens in my head. I don't just go, like, the thought comes into my mind, hot outside. No, I say, like, oh, it's hot outside. Like, I say it in my head. And then when it comes to reading, then I have to read all the words.
What's the last book that you read cover to cover? Game of Thrones, wasn't it?
Yeah. What's the last one of them? Feast for Crows? No, Dance with Dragons.
Now, what motivated you? Because you're not a reader. What was it about those that made you want to go, yeah, I'll read those?
So I'd watched the TV show and I wasn't satisfied with the ending, as many people were. Yeah. My belief is that the ending of the books will be different to the show.
Right. So you want to like read them so that you can get a different ending.
Yeah.
Right.
Because wrongly, I thought that the next book would be out by now.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I'll catch up and then I'll read the next book and then the last book.
But when you were reading...
And I also have an existing knowledge of the characters, so this is bad as well, is that I found it... It's weird with the Game of Thrones books, with the Song of Ice and Fire books. The characters that were in the show, completely fine with those characters.
Yeah.
But there was a whole storyline with a bunch of characters that are not in the show. And I really struggle to follow it.
Yeah.
I really struggle to follow it, even though I was just reading it.
That's why I do my weird thing that you say is weird. Because I read more than you, which is not, but still not a lot. Every now and again, there's 2 authors that I follow and like. And one of them is Richard Osman, and he does a series called The Thursday Murder Club. And I really like those books because they're genuinely really funny, and that helps me keep engaged. But what you
said the other day, you said that those books are quite good for British learning about
like British English. It's very British. So my issue when I read a book is when a new character is introduced, I have to designate an actor, a famous actor, to that character. So when I was reading, who was she? Or for example, when I was reading The Thursday Murder Club, there's a character called Joyce, and I always pictured her as, I don't know the actress's name, but she is the woman in Sherlock. She plays like the landlady in Sherlock, and she's in loads of stuff. And I pictured her as her. And then like I pictured Ron, one of the characters, is Ray Winston. So like I have to almost make a cast in my head because I can't think of characters. And
which is scary, isn't it? Which is quite scary because...
It's partly because if it's a real person, I can instantly go, there's that person. Whereas if I'm creating my own characters, when that person is mentioned, I have to go, now, did he have a beard or not a beard? I can't remember. And then I'm taking out the story because I'm trying to picture what he looks like. Whereas if I can just instantly go, that's Pierce Brosnan, then I can just instantly carry on with the story. So that's what I do, so that I can follow.
But then, does it matter if he's got a beard or not? Because what it sounds like is you're playing a film in your head.
Yeah, I am. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Whereas I don't know what I'm doing.
I'm trying to. The only way I can get invested is if I visualize it really in detail, and therefore I need real people and actors.
But then I feel like when I read with the only reference point we've got here is the couple of books we've read. When I read the Game of Thrones books, the description of some of the characters was so different to what they were in the show. And then that changed how I viewed, like in my mind, it wasn't the actors from the show. Some of them were, but some of them weren't. Yeah.
That's the only way I can get invested. And also we have a friend who loves reading. He loves writing and reading. Yeah. And when he heard that I don't like reading, he made it his mission to try and find me books that he thinks I would like, which is really sweet. And he bought me this book by an author called C.J. Tudor, and he went, I think you'll like this because my thing is with reading, I hate a page of just describing the scenery. I hate it when it's and the meadows and the thing. Very descriptive writing. I just want to know what happened. Who said what happened next? Let's get to it. I don't want all the descriptions. So he said, I think you'll like this book because it's just every page something happens. Every page is bam, 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 bam. And he was right. I really enjoyed that book. And I've since read most of that author's stuff because that style works for me. But my issue with reading is if I'm reading a book, I'm saying to myself, there is nothing else I could be doing with this time. This time is so empty and so free. I'm just going to sit and read a book. Whereas you've seen this. Every time I sit and go to open a book, I always go, I should probably do that thing. Oh, I have to do... And I find a list of things to do instead of reading that, because to me, I associate
you'd rather clean the house, or you'd rather...
Yeah.
You'd find anything to do.
Because I almost feel guilty about reading a book. It almost makes me feel guilty, because I'm this is just I should... Do you know what I mean? I'm not achieving anything here. But
I don't feel guilty when I watch a film.
Yeah, watching a film is different.
I watch a lot of films. I've watched 149 this year so far, and I don't feel guilty about any of them.
Okay, watching a film is different because you're only setting aside 2 hours. If I start a book, I'm committed to that for ages then.
Not really. You could commit if you committed an hour every 3 days, that's not...
Maybe
2 hours a week,
maybe
nearly.
Films are different because I do it with you and we watch it together and it's a
I watch films together. On my own, sorry. I watch films on my own.
Yeah, but I'm saying sort of how I feel about books. Because we do it together, I can justify it in my head as it's socialising, it's spending time with my husband. If I just sit there reading a book, you're not involved, it's just for me, I could be doing something else.
But there's something quite nice... saying this, I don't read, do I? But there is something quite nice about it. I love going to a bookshop.
Sure.
I love going to a bookshop and saying, oh...
I do envy readers. I do...
Oh, I do, yeah. I watched the film last night where somebody was reading a book. And I was thinking oh, that looks nice. She's just reading the book.
And the time I read the most is on holiday, but we don't go on holiday. So the last time we went on holiday, 4 years ago, I read a book.
You did.
I really enjoyed it.
Cover to cover.
Because I know there's nothing else I should be doing. I'm on holiday. So I think I'll take a book when we go on holiday on the cruise, and I think I'll have a great time because I'm I'll read, what else am I going to do? I'm on a boat. I'll read the book.
But for me, I'm I'm on a boat. Wow. I'll just walk around, look at stuff.
Yeah, obviously I'll do that as well. But yeah, I think for me it's that guilt.
What do you think could make children be interested in reading?
Take away phones. Don't give them phones. If you try to give a phone to a 10-year-old or a book, the phone will always win.
Well, of course. So
just don't.
Well, that's the same with adults.
Yeah. I read a lot more when I was a kid before the internet.
Yeah. No, I actually did read quite a bit. I remember buying the Horrible Histories books.
I loved those.
And there was a magazine. Did you used to get those magazines in school, sent to your school, and then you'd order them in?
Oh,
was that just a Welsh thing?
No, I think I know what you mean. It was a magazine, but it had loads of books.
It was a big leaflet thing, a booklet.
Yeah.
And then you'd get numbers, and if you wanted to, you could cut the last page away.
Yes.
And then put the numbers of what you wanted. You'd hand it into the school library or into the school, and then only like 3 kids in the whole school would ever do this.
Yeah.
But then like you'd just get them sent in. And, here are your books.
Well, books.
Your books have arrived.
For a long time, books were a child's way of escaping into another world. Books were a child's way of finding something magical, reading about fairies and whatever. But now the way they do that is on their phone. They can watch a YouTube video if they want to escape. They can do all that. So it is a shame. It's really sad because I think now just because I don't read does not mean I don't see the value in reading. I think reading is fundamental. It's really good for you, and it's good for kids, and it's good for anyone. Personally, I'm just not very good at it, but that's a flaw. I consider that a flaw.
I remember talking to somebody about this. So when I was teaching and talking about how to encourage children to read, and I stumbled upon a good idea.
Go on. Bribe them.
No, but maybe. It was making a TV show.
Yeah.
Where like the first episode is the TV show, and then the second episode is a PDF that you. So at the end of the first episode, there's a QR code, and you scan it, and then the second episode is it could be a
short story,
like a 20-page little story, and then the third episode is on the TV again, and then it keeps doing that.
That's really good. Or even better, and
you make one of them like an audio story, maybe, or something like that.
That's really good.
Someone's going to nick that now, aren't they?
You could do it as like a whole book. You could do like the first 3 episodes are all filmed, and then the last 3 episodes, to end that story, you have to read a whole book. It's like if you want to know what happens to those characters, that's really good.
I'm annoyed that I've just said that.
That's really good. Well, we've got time before we release this. You can, pitch it.
Who can I contact?
I don't know who you'd contact for that.
Someone. CBC.
It'd have to be
Kids TV.
the children's TV channels in the UK. That's an excellent idea.
Yeah, and then there's a QR code at the end, and then they have to read it.
Oh, I love that idea.
Yeah.
It would have to be something like that. Something where like you hook them with the stuff they know, and then you go, if you want to know what happens to the characters, you've got to read the book. Yeah. That would work for me. That would definitely work for me.
It would work for you now.
Well, it's kind of like fan fiction in a way. Like, I think a lot of kids, probably, and a lot of, young adults, whatever, get a lot of writing and reading from fan fiction. They love something so much, like a TV series, and they want to know more. So they go to like fan fiction, they write fan fiction or whatever. So that'd be a similar thing to that, I suppose. That's a very good idea. Yeah.
It's weird though, because like I was just thinking then, like House of the Dragon is a TV show that I watched, the Game of Thrones spin-off. And I'm thinking, that would work for me if like the last 2 episodes was like a little book or something. Yeah. But then the book actually already exists. Yeah. I could find out what happens now, that's true. But I'm not reading that book for some reason. I'm there thinking
because but you know the TV show's coming. If you knew the TV show was done, you might read it.
Yeah.
Like if they announce we're not making it anymore, then you might want to read it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's such an interesting way of doing it. That's really good. Yeah, I really want to encourage our kids to read. I think because I read a lot. I loved Jacqueline Wilson books when I was younger. I loved Horrid Henry books. I loved Horrible Histories. I really enjoyed reading. And I remember, my prized possession, my most favourite thing in the world when I was younger was a book, but it was a choose your own adventure book. And it was you're trapped in this castle.
Yeah.
And like, and I remember the pictures so distinctly. And it would say like, okay, so it was like a full paragraph of reading. So you had to read and it was like, you get to the castle walls, you can either try to sneak under the gate or you can
climb
go through the thing. Yeah, and then you have to go to page 6 of the thing. If it's
page 6, you go, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember that like one page, if you didn't do well, like it always ended and he was a skeleton. And like, but I got to learn that was page like 62. So if it said like turn to page 62, I'd be like, oh man! I'd be like, I said skeleton. But I loved it and I used to do that over and over and over and over again.
I remember I had one of them. I didn't read all of it.
Loved it.
But it was a Sonic the Hedgehog one.
Oh, fun.
I remember it was like Sonic the Hedgehog in like some forest or something.
They're great.
Yeah, it was good.
I remember being so immersed in that it genuinely felt like I was in the castle. It was amazing.
I actually think I read a lot when it came to video games. Because sometimes the games that I played didn't have words, didn't have speaking. It just had like the text at the bottom. That is actually quite a lot of reading. If you compiled it all into one piece of text, that's quite
another way to get kids to read more. Like make really amazing video games, but that do require quite.
We teach kids online, and one way that like if I asked a child to read this story, Some kids do it. Hey, well done.
But some kids are like,
yeah, some people don't want to do that, but then make them play a game where they have to read out loud all of the
there are
text
loads
there.
of those, like story games.
Story games. They love that, and they don't even consider it as reading.
No, they forget that they're like we kind of tricked them of like, you're actually reading a story here.
And sometimes I tell them, sometimes I say at the end, you do realise that, like, you read more today in that game than one page of a book, but one page of a book you would have taken such a long time to read, and you would have thought that's
well, it looks
such
daunting,
a slog.
doesn't it? Like, it looks, a big chunk of reading does look daunting, but if you can make it fun, it's a bit like making kids eat vegetables. You chop it up and you put it in something really tasty. It's the same with that. Like, just put the reading in stuff that's really fun and really good. But I consider the fact that I don't read, I'm not proud of that. I don't go like, I don't read. Like, I wish I read more.
I absolutely wish I read more.
Because I think it's very mindful activity. It's good to do an activity that's just one thing, just reading that book. You're not like doing on your phone as well or whatever, but that's really
People
good.
read a lot when they're on their phones, of course. We read more than we ever have.
It's not
but it's not
reading.
No, of course not. It's not. And you're reading a lot of the same kind of stuff.
So I think, like, if I was going to get into it, I would have to make me not feel guilty doing it, I would have to view it as like, this is beneficial to my well-being,
yeah, your
something,
your attention span.
And like, I'd have to view it as like almost like work, almost like it's a project I'm working on. Like the same as going to the gym. I go to the gym for my physical health. Maybe I should view reading as something I do for my mental health.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's probably a good thing
I think something you could do is like set aside a month and just say, okay, I'm going to, after 10 o'clock at night, if I'm still up, I'm not going to, which you're always asleep. But after 10 o'clock at night...
That's phone off time.
Phone off, and if I want to be in bed, rather than going on, like, your phone, just reading.
It's true.
I remember, like, I usually do that around Christmas time. Somebody usually buys me a book for Christmas, and then, like, a kind of an autobiography, usually.
Non-fiction.
Yeah, footballer.
See? Men.
And then I kind of make it, like, a bit of a thing around Christmas time of replacing going on my phone with that book.
It's good.
And it's actually quite nice around Christmas time. And then I wonder, why don't I just do that throughout the year?
It's just you fall out of habits in it. I do find it funny. I don't know if you still have it, but for a long time, and I think we still have it, on our bedside tables, we have like a display book. So like I've still got my book that I started last year, and I've still got
it still there?
It's on the side of my bed, and it just gives the appearance that I'm working on a book. Like it kind of gives this appearance that, oh, look at Laura, before she goes to sleep, she reads a book. And for a while you had one as well. You had your Game of Thrones one. It's just so funny that people go into the room and must think, oh, look, they've got their books. Those books are not being read. They're just sat there.
But why not? Because like, you do say that when you do read, you enjoy it.
Yes, but then I leave it so long that I forget what's happened.
Yeah.
So I look at that book and go, I'm going to have to start that again, probably. That's daunting.
Yeah.
Either way, this is our mission. We're going to get better at reading in 2026.
2026.
Yeah, so I've got another like 4 months to not read. That's nice. And then we'll get into reading. Ow. Right, should we go read a book?
Let's do it.
I'm going to read right now. I'm not. How would you describe your childhood in one word? That's a really hard question to start off with.
That's a ridiculously difficult question.
In one word.
Lovely.
Oh, nice. That's good.
Just like I don't think about any bad things really when I think about childhood at all. Really, just like
that's a really privileged
nice
position.
Yeah,
to be
of course.
in,
Yeah. What about you?
Nice. I would say fortunate, very fortunate.
Yeah.
That in that like, and I'm going to use this word in a really good way, uneventful. But that's a great thing. You don't want like big life events in your childhood. You don't want these horrible things. Really uneventful, but in a great way. Just kind of like go to school, come home. Nice.
Yeah.
So I really can't complain. Like I think it was really nice. I think like what are your biggest memories from childhood? Let's say like kind of 10 years old, so kind of like end of primary school, nearly in high school. Like what do you associate that time with?
I associate it with riding a bike.
Oh, I
know you can't relate to that. You can't ride a bike. Riding a bike through the village.
Oh, nice. Like the Hovis boy.
I don't know what that means, Laura.
Have you ever seen the Hovis advert? The advert for bread, and there's a little boy on a bike delivering bread.
Sorry, no, I haven't seen it.
That's
sorry.
how I'm picturing your childhood.
Lost on me. driving around on a bike around the village, like knocking on my friends' doors, seeing if they were in to play,
At
just like to
10?
go to the park. Yeah.
How old were you when you were first allowed to go out on your own?
I don't remember it being a big deal at all.
No, I don't.
I remember when I was very young, even when I was like 7, probably 6 maybe.
Yeah.
We definitely, because I lived opposite a high school, not the high school that I went to, but it was opposite a high school. So there was this big, like the car park for the high school, and there was this huge football field, like loads of fields. I remember going there when I was about 6 or 7, just on my own, just like
Well,
doing
it's
stuff.
like right opposite your house, isn't it? Like literally, your parents could probably see you.
In the car park they could. If I went down the fields they couldn't.
Yeah.
But like, what's the worst that could happen?
Well, you grew up in such a community where everyone knew each other. So, like I said this to you before, I reckon you were always within about a 2-minute walk of someone's house that could help you, that you knew.
Yeah.
Like
that's
you were,
true.
you knew everyone. Your parents knew everyone. Like
That's not to say that I had the confidence. I wouldn't have been like, oh, I've hurt my leg. Oh, I'm not going to walk home. I'll go to so and so's house.
Your parents would have that confidence, going like, oh, he's not going to be, on his own. He'll be fine. Like,
Yeah.
Whereas I grew up, I didn't really know the people in my community very well, but I remember being allowed to walk to and from school because the school run was really easy and it was on like a main road, so like no one could steal me because it was very public. I think I was allowed to walk with someone else from school from like year 5, so that's like age 10. 9.
Well, I walked to school from very young because the primary school I went to was across the road again.
Yeah.
So
it's really not that bad.
That was not even. I don't even remember. Like honestly, it's like a minute walk, right? But then the primary school moved. Like they got a new building. It was on the other side of the village.
Where was the old primary school then? I can't even picture where that would be.
You know the high school, the big high school.
Yeah.
It's like across the road to there.
Would have been there.
I'll show you next time.
Show me next time.
But yeah, then the primary school moved to like the other side of the village, which felt like a million miles away. So my mum used to walk when I was in year 6, the last year of primary school. My mum used to walk with me to like the middle of the village where a lot of kids were kind of like would always kind of cross that way, and then I'd walk with kids that way, like my friends.
Yeah, that's a nice
that
strategy. Way. What do you remember from like, because when I think of childhood, I think of being like the time after school, like that kind of time from like 3:30 to bedtime. That's kind of like my peak memory of childhood. I'm thinking about, okay, so like I used to go to people's houses. I remember there was a girl who had a trampoline, and I used to always go to her house because she had a trampoline. Yeah. And then I remember one time she said to me, "Are you only my friend because I have a trampoline?"
And what did you say? Did you say no?
I went, no. I know I was her friend genuinely, but it was great that she had a trampoline.
It's a bonus.
Yeah, it was a great bonus. Or like some people's houses had like just really cool stuff in their house. Like you'd go to someone else's house and you'd be like, they've got a slide, or like they've got a one of my friends had a slide
in the house or in the garden. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Oh, one of my friends had a not a swimming pool, but like an inflatable one.
Oh, cool.
You know, like one that you put water in yourself.
Yeah, everyone's houses just look so much cooler than mine. I used to love going to other people's houses, but then I didn't like having dinner at other people's houses because it was always weird dinner.
It was awkward, isn't it?
Yeah,
when you're like sometimes.
This is what you eat. Like I remember going to one of my friends' houses. And I had never had, ever in my life, just pasta and cheese. I'd never had that. And I remember that's what they were having for their dinner. And I remember being like, what is going on here? Pasta and cheese. And that's just something I would eat that easily now. Yummy. Yeah. Really nice. But it's because you're like 6 and you've just never eaten it. It feels like the most alien food. Like, what's going on here? It's just pasta and cheese.
Yeah.
That's what I think about. I think about like...
You think about that. Whereas I think about... When you say childhood, how old...
I think childhood for me ended at like 14.
14?
Why is that too late?
What? Then you're in adulthood?
I felt like an adult from 14, yeah. I felt like a teenager.
Well, yeah, you were a teenager.
Childhood. I'm thinking of like childhood, yeah.
See, most of my memories of childhood is like being about 15, 16, I feel.
Oh, because that childhood.
Okay, well then... Should we finish this now? Because that's what I picture.
Did you not remember anything before that?
Barely. I remember going to the park. I remember riding my bike around and knocking on people's houses and seeing if they were in. And just sometimes, like, you'd knock on someone's house, like someone I want to go and talk to. And then, like, we'd be hanging out in the park for a bit. And then we'd think, like, oh, do you think so-and-so's in? And then you'd go knock on their house. You'd cycle really far. You'd go for, like, 20 minutes in one direction. And you didn't even know if they were in. You knock on the door, they're not in. And then you'd think, oh, who? And then you'd think, who lives around here then? Who lives around here? And then you'd be kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel. Sometimes you'd just be like, oh, this person lives around here. Yeah, should we? And then all of a sudden you're just hanging out with someone that you'd
That's
barely.
what childhood should be. What kind of childhood do you think kids have now? Do you think kids still do that?
No, they definitely don't.
Because, well, they definitely don't have that novelty of like, let's see who's in, because they all would arrange beforehand. They definitely don't just wander around going, who's in? They text each other beforehand going, do you want to meet up here? Should we do this? Blah, blah, blah. Which, saves a lot of time, I suppose. They can just go straight
Yeah, but that's kind of one of my memories of it is like my memory. I don't remember what we did. I remember the travelling, but I don't remember necessarily what we did.
Well,
I do remember going up the mountain once and eating a flower from a dare. Like someone dared me to eat a flower.
What kind of flower?
Like a daisy.
Oh, nice.
No, it's a sunflower. No, not sunflower.
A sunflower?
No. What do you call it? A dandelion.
Dandelion. Well, you can eat dandelions. Don't they put them in some soups, I swear?
Oh, well, yeah, okay, there you go.
There you go, yummy.
Yeah.
No, I remember there was a phase where like my friends used to always hang out in a park on a Sunday, but I couldn't go because I had to go to church.
Yeah.
And I used to be so annoyed because I always used to meet, and I used to say to them like, guys, can't you meet up on a Saturday? They'd be like, no, we only hang out on Sundays. I was like, oh, because they had like clubs and stuff, but I can't come on Sunday because I've got judo or whatever. So like I missed all the hangouts.
Do you think, kind of slightly different conversation, but like, do you think that a childhood for somebody in the city is very different to the childhood of somebody in the countryside?
I think so.
Even now?
Well, I think childhood's just different now. I'm very happy we managed to live our childhood just before
the internet.
Well, no,
not before the internet,
just
but
before phones became so ingrained in our
Yeah.
lives. Like they were still important, don't get me wrong, but like I think we were just on that cusp. Whereas kids now, I think it's just brutal. Like it can't be healthy for them, like the way that they're doing childhood. And we were saying the other day about how like there's no teen media anymore. So like
Yeah.
if you're a baby, if you're a kid, like 6 years old, 5 years old, there's loads of like films and TV for you. But then it kind of feels like as soon as you get to kind of
10.
age 11, 10 or 11, you get given a phone and you go, there you go, you have access to the adult world now. It's almost like you jump from baby, adult. There's nothing in the middle. Like it's really hard for 12-year-olds
when
to
we
just
were
be
kids,
12-year-olds.
there was High School Musical.
High School Musical.
For example. And that is kind of like a perfect kind of film for kind of 12, 13, 14-year-olds.
Yeah, and there's no bridge now. It feels like that was the bridge. When you're at that age, you should be, obviously graduating from Disney and the kind of the kid stuff, but there should be something for you, whereas it feels like it's an instant jump straight to adult literacy. And so you've got these kids who have little brains, little 12-year-old brains, but feel that they have to fit in the adult world. So they dress like an adult, they talk like an adult.
There's
but they're
kids,
not ready
when I go to the football, there's like kids and they're like, either they're very small men, but they look like 13-year-olds, which I'm sure they are, and they're dressed like these like gangsters.
Yeah, and they act like it.
Yeah,
because they feel that that's what they should do. Because there's no way. I don't think there's a way to be a tween. You know that term, tween?
Is that like an in between?
Yeah, I think a tween is kind of how we'd refer to like 11, 12, 13. It's like not quite an established teenager, but you're not a child either. I think that's just gone.
Yeah.
And that's a shame, because that's a huge part of your development. That's like puberty. That's like when you're going through all these kind of like changes. You shouldn't feel like you have to instantly be an adult straight away. And that's what I feel like. If you saw pictures of me when I was 12, my goodness me.
But then you wanted to be an adult when
Everyone
you were.
wants to be an adult.
So you wanted to be an adult when you were 13.
Yeah, everyone does.
So do you not think, wow, these kids nowadays are fortunate because they can be an adult?
No. Every kid, you always feel like you're like, when you get to that kind of age, you feel like, yeah, I'm so old, I know stuff. But I at least had I was kind of, the path I was put on was towards kind of, teenager stuff, at least.
Well, we have in the UK, we have the BBC.
Yeah, the BBC.
But then there's this channel called CBeebies, which is
like baby channel.
Baby channel, like
ages 0 to 5. It's like really
5.
little. Would you think that's too young?
Well, then we've got CBBC, which is called Children's BBC. You're not watching CBC when you're 6.
Oh, okay. Maybe like 0 to 7.
I imagined it as primary school, high school. That's what I imagined it as.
You think people were still watching CBeebies in year 6?
There were some programs, I would say, that when I was in year 5, maybe I'd watch.
No, put it this way. CBeebies is like...
There was some mature content on it.
We're going to go into the park. Let's go. That's CBeebies. CBBC
but then
is more like...
CBeebies also had like Balamori. That's not hello. That's like...
No, but it was let's see what's happening today. That's for babies. Either or. CBeebies is like babies. CBBC is children. It's kind of like we're talking about
Yeah, there was this program called like The Story of Tracy Beaker, which is like this kind of like not teen drama, but like it's kids in a.
She was a foster child.
She was a foster child. It's based off a book, very popular series.
Yeah. Had dark themes.
Yeah, and like
that
her
mum abandoned her, and she was like, so it wasn't for babies, but it also was clearly designed for children. But that was such a good way it was designed for 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds to learn about these topics.
Yeah,
that was the first time I learned about what adoption was, or like that some people have parents that don't love them and stuff like that. And that was a good way of learning about it. Whereas now kids learn about those topics through just like how adults talk about it. And that can't be a sensible jump. That can't be good. And like I just see a lot of kids, like there's a particular celebrity child, I won't mention her, but there's a particular celebrity child who's only about 12, and the way she's dressing is insane because I know she has social media because she posts stuff. She's just seeing how adults dress, and she's 12 and she's going, well, I want to dress like that. That looks cool. But there's a certain.
Should I know who this person is?
I'll tell you later.
Right.
But like,
why would you name it?
Why I don't want to be like, dissing a child on the internet.
Well,
she's
you are.
Still a child. Well, I could be talking about anyone. No one knows.
Right.
I think there's a reason why we should have tailored stuff for different ages.
But then it's weird, isn't it, that we're talking a lot there about media, but media does form a lot of...
Media's everything now.
Media is everything now.
Film,
even
TV.
When we were kids. But outside of that, what did you spend your time doing other than like watching? Because when people talk about childhood, a lot of the time people do mention like, oh, I was watching this, I watched this, I was obsessed with this.
Yeah.
And it's like books or films or TV shows, music, things like that. What else were you doing? Because I was riding my bike. I'd go to the park.
Yeah, I had a couple of friends that lived near me that I used to play a lot with. Just like hang out with them.
Video games?
No, it was never a video. Apart from the Nintendo Wii. That was all I had. Wasn't a video game person. Loved films. Loved TV. And I spent a lot of time doing church things as well. So like singing in choirs or like putting on shows. That was my favourite thing.
Oh yeah.
Like being involved in shows. So I think I had a really good balance of like stuff on screen and stuff away from screen, because obviously doing theatre and stuff, that's not on a screen. That's really. So I think I had a good balance of that. But I think kids now, it's like 80-20. They spend 80% of their time doing screen stuff and 20% doing not screen stuff. Yeah. Which is why I'm gonna I think our kids should go into sports. I think sports is a great way to like just disconnect and do that. But what do you think? This is a deep question. What do you think are the ingredients for a happy childhood? Like, what do you think makes a happy childhood?
I think it's really difficult because your brain gets used to it very quickly. It's that like hedonism or whatever you call it. So, like for example, if a kid, we know some kids who, for example, like imagine there's a kid who goes to Disneyland every year. On paper, that's that's amazing. But that kid might just think it's normal, and then will just get bored of that and want something else, or jealous of someone else who goes to Universal or whatever, or goes to Spain or whatever.
So you think you're doing the right thing by going like, I'm going to give my kids such a great childhood because I'm going to take them to Disneyland every year, but like they might not even really appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They'll be excited the first time and the second time, but then if it becomes like the normality, so I think maybe the key is to keep variety maybe. So nothing becomes the norm. So like even with like small things like your cereal in the morning, on paper, wow, you're having like this chocolate cereal thing. Wow, isn't that fun? But I had chocolate cereal like every day and I wasn't happier for it.
You say that though, I do think there's something really nice about a routine when you're a child. I think it's just having stuff stability. I think a happy childhood needs stability, normality, comfort, just knowing that like, I think you say that, but I think if a child came home every day and their mum was like, guess what, I've bought you this new different toy, like we're going to take away these, it might just be a bit like chaotic. I think sometimes there's that nice thing of like waking up in the morning going, I'm going to go have my nice chocolate cereal that I have every day. Just that kind of like, everything is predictable. I think one of the worst kinds of childhoods are chaotic and unpredictable and eventful. You don't really want events. I think just like calm. I have time and I can just chill and I can just relax and I don't need to worry about like, oh, what am I going to eat tonight? Is it going to be something weird? Like, I think there's a beauty in routine and stability, even as adults. I think when I teach people and I say like, oh, have you had a fun week? They go, just normal. I often say to them like, that's good though. Like, stability means that nothing bad's happen. Like, you know, sometimes
we have weeks where they're very varied. Like Monday night we've got to go and do this, then Tuesday we've got to do something different, then Wednesday something else. Thursday we've got to go here. And on paper that's exciting. Oh, isn't that nice? You're doing something different every night. But then usually by the end of that week, I'm looking at the next week, which is much calmer, and I'm thinking, oh, I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to just a bit more of a normal week.
Yeah. Like, I liked that as a kid. I like I say, my biggest memories are coming home from school and having kind of 3
I used to go to my grandparents' house after school every Thursday and Friday.
And you would have liked that routine, that reliability of I do that and that's, you know, you can just...
Yeah. And it was nice. I used to always have fish.
Nice.
Fish and chips on a Thursday.
Lovely.
Not like fish and chips like from the chippy.
She would make it.
It was like a place. There was a fish man who used to come to the house and he used to deliver fish to my nan.
Yeah, that's nice.
And it was fish, chips and peas, and I always used to leave the edge of the fish because it was like quite bony and it was really fishy.
Yeah.
And my nan used to every time say, oh, I'm never making you that again, and don't come here again.
Because you don't eat the whole thing.
Yeah. Don't come here next week.
Don't come here.
Yeah. I'm not making you food next week.
And you always just would.
Well, of course. There was no one else at home. My mum and dad were working, so I had to go to my grandparents' house. But she always used to say, like, every week, without fail, oh, don't even bother coming next week. I don't know why I bother. Oh, leaving food. Like that, yeah.
And that's her way of thinking, like, I'm teaching him something here. But if it happens every week, and like,
yeah.
You just go, okay, I won't come next week.
Friday, she usually used to make a fry up.
Nice.
After school, fried bread.
Yeah, and like, those are the memories. When I used to go to my grandma's house, she used to always make fried egg on toast. That was her speciality. But something about the particular bread that she bought, and the particular
was it the milk
butter.
Loaf?
No, it was just like a normal kind of like white bread. And it was the fact that I never used to eat the middle because I didn't like the yolk. So I just the feeling of that white part of the egg on top of toast, it just takes me straight back.
And we always used to I used to watch CBBC in my nan's house, and after food, she'd be doing the washing up, and then I'd be in the living room, and then she'd come in with a cup of tea, and those fruit shortcakes, you know, they're like circular ones like that, and I used to like have a load of them. So like even now, like as weird as now, like even now, if I ever had them, if I even see them in the supermarket, I think of my nan. Straight away. Yeah. Because like that, and I think of like sitting at this little table that was, and then I remember getting a bit too big for that because there was like a little stool, and I got a bit too big for it. My knees wouldn't fit under the table anymore.
It's mad the memories
things like that
stay, and the memories that are attached to random objects or smells or food.
Strange because there's so many little memories, but you have no idea at the moment that you're creating a core memory. No. And there's nothing really specific about it even.
Just the randomest little things.
Like I remember my granddad, he had his name and then like information about where his name comes from. Oh, right. Like the information about what his name is or something. And it said that it means something like an eagle or something. And then I remember I was like 10 or something, and I said like, well, that can't be true because eagles have really good vision and you wear glasses. And then everyone really laughed. And I don't know why, I just remember that. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it would have just created a little thing in your brain of like, when I say things and people laugh, that's quite fun, all right. And that's why you're a little joker now.
Maybe, yeah, it was weird.
Well, we're very lucky, aren't we, that we can look back on our childhoods and just go, sound. I feel very grateful for that, very lucky for that. Well, do you want to go watch some CBBS?
I would love to watch some CBBS. I'm sure there's still some adults who do.
Yeah, probably. Come on then. Sports,
baby.
What do you think about sports?
I love sports. I love sports.
All sports?
I think I could enjoy any sport, I think.
We didn't enjoy baseball.
Yeah, but, okay, so we went to Canada earlier, well, last year, whenever we post this. Yeah. We thought it was rubbish.
We really didn't enjoy baseball because I think the thing about baseball is it was just very low reward. It was a lot of swing, run a little bit. There wasn't a lot of moments.
High adrenaline action. But I think that's because we're just used to football, and that's why people say that people say that football is the best sport in the world. So if that's your measuring stick is football, then of course anything compared to that.
Why is football the best sport in the world? Why do you think it goes so well?
It's high octane. Is that the right expression?
Yeah, sure. It's low scoring, which I've learnt from you is a good thing.
Low scoring is a good thing because then when there is a goal,
Yeah.
it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Whereas complete opposite to this, basketball is so high scoring. I mean, again, I'm not an expert on any sport. I'm not an expert on any sport.
Yeah.
But from what I understand with basketball, it's almost rarer when somebody misses. So like that team goes up, scores. That team goes up, scores. That team goes up, scores. And then, that team's missed. And then that team goes and scores. A gap starts to form.
Yeah.
That's from my perception of it. So football is also high variables.
Yeah.
So there's so many variables in a game of football. You will never watch the same game of football ever again.
Then some people say, "Oh, you just watch football. It's just a bunch of people kicking a ball about." Like that's what a lot of people say.
Yeah, but you could say, "Oh,
you're so offended."
But you could say, "Oh, singing. It's just a lot of people blowing through windpipes."
Singing.
Yeah.
Okay, I suppose.
Or you could say, "Oh, dancing. It's just people moving their limbs."
Yeah.
It's just anything anything.
I'm not a sport person. I didn't grow up in a sport house. I think you either grow up in a household that has like the sports on the TV or not. And I grew up with we didn't have.
Ironically, you did have Sky Sports,
but we didn't watch it,
which is ridiculous because I didn't have Sky Sports and I would have loved to be watching it.
We didn't. We were not a sporty family. The only time we ever watched a sport thing would be like a World Cup final or something. Maybe we'd stick that on.
You'd put on the World Cup final regardless of who's playing.
No, anything.
England haven't been to the World Cup final.
A World Cup or a Euros important England match, we would watch that. But
important England match.
Well, just like if they're playing on telly, we might watch that.
Right.
But nothing else. Or the Olympics. I love the Olympics.
Well, your dad called Liverpool the other day. He called it Liverpool United.
That shows you that my family is not a sport family. But I have now joined a sport family and I have become our household is now a sport household because of you. And I agree. I think football is the best one. I understand why it's the most popular because I've seen other sports and I've seen like
what sports would you say you've given a fair chance to?
You know what I really struggle with? American football because it stops all the time. And what I like about
have you ever watched it?
We watched a bit of it.
I watched a bit of it and you were sitting there on your phone.
Either or. I like with football how it's just kind of like go. American football is like, right, we're going to set up for like 10 minutes and then we're going to do it for like 20 seconds and stop again.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like that.
Again, I'm not an expert. American football seems to be a little like chess in a way.
Yeah,
so it's strategies.
Plans.
You play. There's plays and you got the playbook.
Yeah, that's not for me.
And that kind of thing.
That's not for me.
But football is also 90 minutes. It's not always 90 minutes. There's added time, but it's 90 minutes. The clock doesn't stop or anything like that. It's 90 minutes. The game happens. The time happens. Then it's done. Yeah. Even like tennis. Tennis could go on for ages. Could go on for ages.
Like cricket can sometimes go on for so long.
Yeah.
I'm not into cricket at all.
Rugby is 80 minutes. So that's okay.
Rugby is the closest one I could see myself. If you wanted to like another sport and you wanted me to enjoy it, rugby I could see myself enjoying because at least it's like exciting and like people bash into each other and stuff and it's quite thrilling when they get to the other end.
So what sports have you watched where you say you could make a fair analysis on that sport?
Well, with the Olympics, I think I've watched quite a lot of stuff at the Olympics.
Yeah. But I feel like the Olympics doesn't count because if those people always put on the Olympics and then they watch like volleyball and they say, this is great, I love this. Yeah, fair, I like volleyball, it was nice. But there's a reason why nobody's watching volleyball all the time.
I teach someone who loves volleyball. She watches a lot of volleyball. Shout out, you know who you are. She watches a lot of volleyball. So I think any sport, though, has a huge following of people that are into it. It's just, if you want to take the time to get invested. What do you think? Because you love watching sports, but do you consider yourself particularly sporty? Like when you were growing up, were you a sporty kid? Were you involved in sports?
No, I wasn't.
You were more in choir.
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in choirs. I liked playing football. We used to play football
Casually.
every lunchtime.
But you weren't in like...
Every single
Was there a
lunchtime.
school team? We had a school team.
Yeah.
Were you in that?
No.
So why didn't you want to be in that school team?
Because I'm humble enough to know I'm not good enough.
Even for the school team?
Yeah.
Really?
Have you seen Ewan Harrison as a striker? He used to score like hat tricks.
Did he?
Yeah, he was sick.
What
Ewan was
position
awesome.
would you have played if you were in the school
Left
team?
back.
Oh, like Andy Robertson.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't have played anywhere near as good as him.
It's just interesting that you loved football so much, but you didn't want to get like
Loads of people. That's the thing with football, is that people play it. Even it doesn't matter how good you are. People just like to play it.
Yeah, I suppose.
There were people who were awful, but everyone used to play.
Yeah.
You know who you are as well.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I was neither. I didn't care about sports. Didn't want to watch sports. Didn't want to play sports. Hated them. PE at school was my least favourite. Like, I absolutely despised PE. I didn't like getting changed. I didn't like having to like go outside in the rain and the cold. I didn't like sports. I was always bad at the sport. So I remember like playing rounders, which is basically baseball. It's like a version of baseball. So you hit it and then you've got to run around. And if you're the fielders, the people on the outside who have to catch the ball, I would just go so far away so that no human person could ever throw a ball that far and just be
I'm sure they could.
Do you know what I mean? But I'm just going like, I'm just out just in case it goes this far. And I would just stand there knowing that I don't have to play. I don't have to do anything.
Well, you say that when you played football, you just walk around the side of the pitch.
Yeah, so when we did football, because if you stand still, if on the side like this, teachers go, Laura, play, come on, Laura. So if I just keep moving, just don't stop, but I would just walk around the edge. I would just walk around the edge of the thing.
Even if the ball was nowhere near, you'd just be walking around the edge in front of the goal and everything.
On our side, probably, or just like where the action was, just walk around it in a perimeter. So I look like I'm moving and do this every now and again.
Look like you're interested.
I hated it.
So why now have you changed that? At least you care a little bit about it.
I can watch it, and because
So what's changed?
Probably the investment. I think I had no reason. So you grew up with an inbuilt reason for you to be invested in a football team because your dad was very invested in Wrexham Football Club and your granddad was very invested in Liverpool. So you grew up with an inbuilt reason to go, you should care about this. Liverpool are playing. I grew up with no reason to care about any team. But now because of you, I have a reason to care. It's Liverpool. I like you love Liverpool, you love Wrexham. So I now have a reason to be invested. I think probably that's the main difference. So now when I watch it, I'm like, oh, go on, I really want you to win.
It's stake in the game that they call
exactly,
it.
yeah. Now I actually care.
You have a horse in the race.
Yeah, but growing up, I couldn't care less because my pet family didn't care.
But England.
Okay, yeah, exactly. That's why sometimes we'd watch that because you've already got an inbuilt stake in the game because you're already thinking, oh, at least that's my country, I can back that. But yeah, no, I was not a sporty person. However, I do hope our children are sporty because I do think being involved in sports is really good.
Teaches you how to lose.
I think it's really good.
Teaches you how to win.
Yeah. You keep active, you're social, you're out of the house, you're not on your phone. I think it's really good to be involved in sport. Even as an adult, I think, people, if they want to keep fit and be social, I think they should join some kind of sports club. But personally, I could never. They wouldn't want me.
Do you think that people are just naturally good at sports? Like, are you just born with a natural ability? Or do you think you can learn how to do it?
Well, when you watch the Olympics, you notice that people who play the same sport all look very similar.
Yeah, they're built very similar.
Yeah,
but that could be muscle gain that you build.
No, but even in so you look at swimmers, they're all tall. You look at sprinters, they're already skinny. They're all. I think there is a thing of how your
sprinters aren't skinny. Sprinters are hench.
Oh, who are the ones
like
that are really
long
skinny?
distance
long
runners?
Distance runners. So there are certain biological factors that will instantly help you be better at that. So I think probably what happens is with these kids who are really sporty and they're just good at everything, as they get older, probably coaches tell them and go, you should try this sport because I can just tell from your how you are. That's for you. Whereas I don't think this is for you because there will be people who are better than you just because of how you're born. So I think you should lean into the your biology of what you naturally have. So you probably wouldn't naturally go to
you get that positions on the pitch in football.
Yeah.
Where you'll get someone as a child who is really small.
Yeah.
And then so they're like a striker, but then they actually get quite big and tall.
Yeah.
And then they get told maybe you should move into being a centre forward or a midfielder or a
I got
centre
asked
back.
twice to be in the netball team at high school.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'm tall. So I'm naturally tall. And this was like in year 7 before anyone got really good at netball. And they were like, you should consider joining, Laura. So like that's probably how it happens. You just get spotted for like, well, you should do that.
Yeah,
so I think that pays for it. But I don't think you can be born being sporty. I think you have to develop that skill. Coordination maybe is a big thing for a lot of sports. You can just, some people are just naturally not coordinated. You know, I don't think I'm very coordinated. I can dance. Why can I dance but not throw a ball?
I have no idea. Because the way that you throw a ball is like ridiculous.
But maybe if you gave me a coach for like a week, I'd be much better.
You're getting a bit better at catching. I don't know. Yeah, it's tough. It is tough.
The bar is so low.
It's very, very low. Very low.
I never
do
claimed to
you
be.
think it's good to be competitive? I think you have to be competitive if you want to be a sports person.
Oh, sports, definitely. Because you've got to be competitive with yourself, at the very least, to want to beat and get better. Maybe that's why I didn't care about sport. I don't think I'm competitive at all. I think that's... I've always thought that's not a trait I have. Do you think you're competitive?
Maybe not either, to be honest. I am a bit with golf. So, for example, I got my best ever score in golf the other day. Thank you very much. But if I wasn't competitive, I would never play golf again. So, but I do want to play golf again.
Do you not play it just for the fun of it rather than the trying to get better?
A bit of both. I think if I was playing it just for the fun of it, I wouldn't even count the score. The whole point is counting the score is that I know at the end what I got. And why would I care what I got at the end if I didn't care? Do you know what I mean?
What would you say the percentages of like why you play golf? What percent is just because you like it and what percent is trying to get better?
Maybe 50-50.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I'd say so. Whereas there are some people, like one of my friends plays golf, he's a lot more, he wants to get better. That's how he thinks. And that drives him because he's better than me. And that drives him to be better.
But that's about being competitive with yourself. But when you're playing golf with your friends, are you very competitive with them? Like, I want to beat them?
When it begins, yes. But then if it becomes pretty evident that I'm not going to beat him, then it becomes a competition with myself of like, well, at least can I at least beat my score that I got 2 weeks ago? Or can I at least get this?
Do you think... I think I've just figured out why maybe I'm not as competitive.
Right.
I think because I know there is a group of things, there's probably about 3 things in this life, in this world, that I think I am really good at. There's probably like 3 things that I go, I'm really good at that.
Cooking? You are really good at cooking.
That's
no?
not one of my things.
Right.
But 3 things where
Singing?
I go, no.
No?
Either way, 3, I don't need to mention
Flugel?
them, but there are 3 things that I think, I'm good at that, and I think if you put me in a room, I would be in the group of the people like these are the good ones at that. So because I know I've got that, other things I kind of feel like I can go, well, yeah, you can be better than me at that. That's fine. Like, yeah, I don't mind. Like, you go ahead. I don't care if I don't win this or don't be good at that because I know it's not one of my 3 things.
Yeah.
Maybe if it was a competition in one of those 3 things of like, maybe I'd be more competitive.
Well, you would.
then.
You want to do like you want to do a singing competition.
Yeah, maybe I'd be a bit more like, come on, like, this is one of my things. I want to be good at this. But if it's anything else, I'm like, well, go for it. You can win. I don't mind. This is not what I'm good at.
But then I think some people like the challenge of just starting something else new from the beginning. Let's see if I can
Can't
do
be
this.
bothered. I'm
So,
so lazy.
I would be interested if I could. I've mentioned this a few times actually, like a dartboard. If it wasn't, I would definitely get a dartboard if I knew I would never miss.
And you'd never hit the
miss the
wall.
dartboard, and I would. So then I would never hit the wall.
Just get on for outside.
I'm not standing outside and doing that.
I'm not standing
And then like,
Do you think this is what Olympians say? Do you think this is how Olympians get good at their sport? They go, I'm not doing it outside.
but do you know what I mean though? Like
Yeah.
I that's the kind of I'd love to just like get better at darts. I think that would be quite cool.
The idea of that, yeah, but I've done that many a time in my life. I've said to my mum, "Oh, can I start doing this?" And I promise I'll practice it loads, and I'll be really. I remember I got a Diabolo.
Oh, those things, yeah, the
like
strings.
that. And in my head, I had this plan that I was going to practice it loads. I was going to get really good. It was going to become my thing, and I just didn't because I'm like, I don't want to do that. Because to get good at something, there's a lot of stages of being bad at it, and that's not very fun.
Yeah.
Like practicing, like when I was learning the piano. What you want to be able to do is, but what you have to do is a lot of. That's not very fun.
Drills.
Is it? That's not fun. So I am not.
Seen that picture of the stairs, the man with the stairs with all the broken plates?
Yes, exactly.
And then he's juggling plates and everyone's clapping him.
Yeah.
But then what you don't see is all the broken plates
and all the
behind
failures
him.
he had before, and that's
work.
what I don't like, and I think that's another reason why I'm not great at sport is because the practicing and the the blood, sweat, and tears you've got to put in to get good is just not what I'm prepared to do. But that's okay.
What would you be your top 5 favourite sports? If you had to think, if you had to.
Ice skating.
Oh, yeah, you do like ice skating.
I love ice skating. Is that like figure skating? Like when they dance, basically. Figure skating. Gymnastics. Love that. Because it's got a bit of an entertainment factor.
So you do not see entertainment in football?
I do. Football's good.
Okay, football.
Football.
That is entertaining.
Then probably like athletics.
Athletics. Is that entertaining?
Yeah, well, like, it's fun. Like, there's people jumping off poles and that. It's fun.
But the drama of jumping over a pole is not the thing that's fun for me. It's the how high and who's going to win.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And then 5th, probably like diving.
Formula 1?
Oh, Formula 1. Yeah, I like Formula 1. That's fun. Although some argue it is just kind of the same every time. It's just cars going around in a circle.
Yeah, when people say like Formula 1 fans when the fastest driver wins every week. And they're like, yeah.
But I think Formula 1 is more about if you... I think I would absolutely hate Formula 1 if I hadn't have seen the documentary. I think buying into the people and the personalities and
that's with any sports though. That's with any sport.
You care more if you know.
If you have a stake in the game, like we've said, if you just have some kind of other interest in it, other than the sport. So, like for example, golf. I'm not watching golf every single week, but when it's a major tournament, like when it was the Masters 2025, and Rory McIlroy has to win that to get the Grand Slam and everything. That was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. Genuinely, like one of the best things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But then the next week, it's not. I didn't watch golf that the week after.
Yeah, the stories are what make it. You've got a piece of fluff on your head there.
Okay, thank you.
There we go.
Well,
the stories are what make it more than just watching balls flying about or watching things. Completely, and that's why we really enjoyed Formula 1 for a bit, but then. Max Verstappen just kept winning.
Max Verstappen ruined it. But now this year, you actually would enjoy this year.
Yeah, there's a lot more variety now.
Oscar Piastri's winning, and he's probably going to be Oscar Piastri wins, and Lando Norris second.
That's the funny thing with sport, isn't it? Like sometimes you get punished for witnessing greatness in action.
I was saying this the other day.
So Man City in football, for a while we were witnessing one of the greatest football teams ever, but because it was happening all the time, you're like Max Verstappen, witnessing one of the greatest drivers ever, but you're like, keeps winning.
Well, people now look back at Michael Schumacher and say, wow, what a legend. That's amazing. But I'm sure at the time it was really boring.
Yeah, it just keeps winning.
Keeps winning.
So you kind of get, when someone is displaying greatness or a sports person is being great, it's a bit boring, but you
got to take a step back and appreciate it and go, wow, isn't this amazing?
And when you look back and you go, wow, we witnessed that. Yeah. We were alive to see that person. But at the time, when Max Verstappen wins every week, you do get a bit.
He's not winning this year.
No, that's true. So maybe we might get a bit more into Formula 1 again.
I've watched a couple of races this year.
Yeah, I do. I enjoy it. I really like, because it's on a Sunday, having it on and just kind of like sitting on the sofa with a coffee. That is quite nice.
It's quite nice, isn't it?
There's a nice
vibe,
yeah.
I'd say my top 5 sports, football number 1.
Obviously.
Then golf.
Yeah.
Then there's a big drop off, to be honest.
Yeah.
But then I'd say, what do I watch?
Formula 1.
Probably Formula 1, but I'm not a big fan of Formula 1 really at all.
No, but you've watched that a lot more
then
than
maybe
ones.
Tennis.
Yeah, you do enjoy taking the tennis.
I like watching tennis occasionally, and then, then it's
rugby. Then
maybe rugby, but but I only watch the Six Nations when it's on.
Yeah, that's
And I
more than
only
some
watch
people.
Wales, really. Or not cricket at all.
Ultimate frisbee.
I was teaching someone the other day who loves sumo wrestling.
Whoa.
It's an American guy.
See, that's a good example of playing a sport good for your how you look. You wouldn't be a great sumo wrestler.
Not at all.
Sorry if that's your dream.
Not at all.
You wouldn't be a good sumo wrestler.
Yeah,
Right,
interesting.
should we go watch some football? When's the next match on?
When's the next match? The next match? What kind of match? What do you mean? Premier League
Premier
or
League.
Premier League? It's the
Right.
international break now, though.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
So yeah, Wales are playing. And when this gets posted, I will probably know if Wales have qualified for the next World
They
Cup.
probably won't, unfortunately.
No, we're playing Kazakhstan.
All the best.
Thank you.
Go on, talk to me about pets. How many pets have you
Oh my
had
gosh.
in your life? What pets have you had?
One.
Just
pet.
one pet, that's it? No fish?
No.
Did you not, you just went straight to dog, that was it?
Yeah, we had a dog.
Oh, we geared up. We started with fish when I was younger. We had a lot of
What
fish.
is it normal that people? Sorry, is it normal that people gear up to having a dog? Is that the biggest? Is that the
You know
journey?
what happens is children start saying to their parents, "Mum, can we get a dog? Can we get a cat?" And I think parents often give them smaller pets to kind of fill that pet void without having to get
The big thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we had
also
a
maybe
lot
they
of
think
fish.
that maybe if you get them a fish, they'll realise. Oh yeah.
Well,
I
they'll
don't
shut
really care.
up for 5 years, hopefully,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they've got a pet. So we had a lot of fish. We had a fish called... We had two fish called Pepsi and
Wanda,
Cola.
wasn't there one?
No, that's
No.
a film you're thinking of.
Oh yeah, fish called Wanda. Isn't that one?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
We had Pepsi and Cola. And we had one, and because we had so many fish, I remember we ran out of names, and we
You
brought...
ran out of names. Hang on a minute. How?
We brought one home, and on the bag it had the barcode, like so that the shop could know which fish they're talking about. And we called it the barcode, so it was 249 SOX1. So we called it 249 SOX1 was the name of our fish. Because that was the thing on the bag.
Wow.
So 249 SOX1.
Did you actually call it that though?
Yeah.
How often? I never had a fish. How often do you actually? Because I imagine that fish just kind of exist in
They're
your
just
house.
decorative, really.
And you give them food every day.
That's essentially what it is. They're like an ornament that move, and you just give it little flakes and make sure the
Yeah.
cat's...
So how often do you actually talk about SOX?
Yeah, exactly.
Fish one or whatever it's called.
249 SOX1. I'll have you that.
That's impressive that you remember that.
I think no, yeah, it's not like a dog. You're not calling it to come to you, so you don't.
So it's not. The names don't come up very often, do they?
Exactly. So we had a lot of fish. Then we went through a hamster phase, big hamster phase. We had loads of hamsters.
Loads of hamsters. How?
We had Boris and no.
Sorry. Roughly how many fish did you have?
5.
You ran out of names after 5. You ran out of names. Okay, you had 5
Then-
fish in how many years?
5.
So you had a fish a year.
Yeah. I don't think we were the best at keeping fish, I'll be honest.
And then you had
Then we had
how
Boris,
many hamsters?
I don't know, we count them. We had Boris and Norris. They hated each other.
Oh yeah, you told me this.
And they used to fight, right? And we put Boris and Norris... So we put them in one cage and they started fighting. So we were like, these can't live together. So we put them in 2 separate cages, but we put the cages together because they're in separate cages. We came down one day to the kitchen and Boris had pried open the metal bars of the cage. There was
How
like
on
a
earth
whole...
did this?
I don't know, super hamster, right? And he'd gone into... And he killed Norris. He killed him. It was awful. And I just remember...
So you came downstairs and he'd killed them already?
Yes, and
Oh
I
my
remember I think it was Tom going over and going like, Mum, and like, I wasn't allowed to see.
So do you reckon it was pretty gory?
I'll have to ask Tom. I think it was a crime scene. Yeah, I think it was awful. And so then,
Oh my gosh.
then we just had,
was Boris bigger than Norris?
yeah, I remember Norris was like a sandy colour and Boris was like black and white. I remember
Right.
that. And then I remember, yes, we
How
kept,
big is a? Sorry, how
you could
big?
hold them in your hand.
Oh yeah. I'm not picturing it in my arms like this. Of course not.
Like a little mouse.
Like a
Slightly
slice of
bigger
cake?
than a mouse. Sure, a hamster's about the size of a slice of cake
Okay.
with a tail. And then we kept Boris
Of course.
for a bit, and then I think Boris.
Hamsters don't have. Oh yeah, they do, but not a big long one.
No, sure. And then I think Boris died from the consumption of the other hamster.
From the what he ate? What?
He pretty much ate Norris. He ate like bits of him.
What?
Awful.
He ate Norris, and then because he ate Norris...
I just know that Boris didn't last very long after that debacle. I don't think...
And seemingly just died out of just something. He was just found dead.
Maybe
there wasn't like another...
Maybe the stress of what he'd done to Norris consumed him. So then that was Boris and Norris gone. Then what were the hamsters called?
Superman or something?
I can't remember the names of the other ones. But there was one hamster who was a great one. My brother's hamster, technically. And we lost him.
Oh, yeah.
For about 3 weeks. And we were
3 weeks?
We were like, he's gone. We lost him.
Where would he have possibly gone?
Well, then when Tom was in his wardrobe and he looked at the bottom of the wardrobe and he saw that all the bits of carpet were missing. And then he found the hamster in the bottom of the wardrobe, and our wardrobe was built into the house, so the floor was carpet.
Yeah.
And the hamster had been in that wardrobe for 3 weeks, living off carpet, and it had eaten all the bits of carpet.
And then it died because of that?
No, I think it survived. I think it did all right after that. It was fine.
How did it get out of the cage?
I don't know how we lost it. I don't know what happened. Because we would let them out sometimes, just to walk around the room. Yeah, you would. Yeah, it's quite fun, actually. If you've got a hamster, you just sort of like... We had a ball for it. We had a ball for it. Have you seen those balls?
Yeah. I'm picturing G-Force.
Yeah. That was really fun, to put your hamster in a little ball and watch the ball just go around the room. But then sometimes we would just let the hamster run around the room for a bit of fun. Let him out, stretch his legs.
Yeah. What do you give them for food? Straw?
These little pellets, little food things. And then we had a couple other hamsters, and then we were done with the hamster thing.
So why were you done with the hamsters? You were just...
Because then we graduated to cats.
So did you just get bored of hamsters?
No, I think then eventually we wore my mum down and we were able to get a big pet.
So was the ultimate goal to get a big pet?
Yeah, we always wanted a cat. We didn't want a dog. I don't know why we didn't want a dog. We weren't a dog family. We wanted a cat.
We did have a cat, though.
I would have a hamster now. Should we get a hamster?
No.
Oh, go on.
No, I don't want a hamster. It would bring no joy to me.
Oh.
It would just make me sad when he died.
Okay, fair enough.
It would, wouldn't it?
So then we went to
You'd
cats.
cry if we had a hamster now
Yeah,
and we called him Bobby or something.
Yeah.
You'd cry. I can't cry now thinking about it. Oh, Bobby.
And then we had cats, and we had quite a few cats. We had 2 cats, Mickey and Minnie.
And they died.
Yeah, they did. That wasn't our fault. Minnie had cancer, bless her. She was really ill. Mickey got hit by a car.
How often does that happen, do you think?
That happens a lot to cats. That's why they set... There's an argument online. Some people think that cats should be, like, exclusively indoor animals.
Well, my friend's bought a cat.
Is it going to be an indoor animal?
And I think they've been told it has to be indoors.
Yeah, a lot of people say that now. A lot of people say that it should be because they live, like, 10 years longer on average. It's mad.
Yeah.
So if you have an outdoor cat...
But then are those 10 years better if they're just trapped?
That's the argument. People say that they should be outside. They should be able to, roam outside.
Strange.
So we were always outdoor cat people. That's just what it was. I don't know if we do the same now. If we had a cat now, I don't know, but whatever. And so it got hit by a car. Then we got Crystal, who was the pet of
Crystal,
my life.
I've met Crystal. Well,
Crystal
I met
was
Crystal.
the pet. I'll put pictures of the other things. So I had Crystal from when I was 7 until she died. Well, it was a funny one with Crystal. She, so I had her for all my life, pretty much. And then when I was about 18, my mum was moving house, and Crystal was quite old at that point. And Crystal loved the neighbour. She used to always go to the neighbour's house.
It was when you were 18. It was recent.
Like
when you were, it was after uni.
Maybe I was like 22. Okay, so I was like 22, and she loved the neighbour, and the neighbour loved Crystal. And like sometimes, we'd be feeding her, and she wouldn't be eating her food because she'd been eating. The neighbour had been feeding her. So my mum because it was just my mum moving out, and she mentioned to the neighbour, she went, Crystal's quite old. I'm worried that she won't settle in this new house. But then, so she said to the neighbour, she went like, would you want to take her? And she was like, we'd love to take her. And then she can stay in the same environment. She's not, going to have to go to a new place or whatever. So then she lived with the neighbour for a bit, and then she died like 4 years later. But she was like my pet. The longest running, loved her. And she was so sweet, because some cats can be a bit mean, but she was lovely, and she would just sit on your lap, and she would nuzzle in. She was like a dog, really. She was very cute. What was your pet experience?
Just a dog, Smot.
How did you get him? What was that like?
How did we get him?
Yeah.
Looking back, he was a rascal. He was. I genuinely do think, though, now, like that dogs obviously copy the environment that they're in, right? So your dad's dogs are very calm.
Yeah, chill.
Very chill.
Yeah.
Because they live in a house where there's two people who have retired and they just sit and just chill, relax,
There's
that
no
kind of
raised
thing.
voices, no kids.
Whereas my dog grew up. My dog came into our house when I was a child. So there was two children in that house running around, like winding him up.
Yeah.
Also, my mum and dad were working, so just a lot of moving around, a lot of kind of chaos. I think
you didn't train him enough.
We didn't. I don't think we did. No. So he was just. I think he was great. He was a legend. But
he was wild.
But he was.
He wasn't nasty. Like, he wouldn't hurt anyone, but he was just crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think that it's just interesting that that's because it must be because of just the environment that he was in. He had to wear a muzzle, not because he would like bite anyone or bite other dogs, but he would pick up rubbish and just eat them. And then once he's got the rubbish in his mouth, you couldn't like get it out of his mouth.
And didn't he go through a phase of eating tights and socks?
Oh no, well yeah, when he was looking back, he was very young, but at the time it was like maybe he was like 1 or 2 years old. He ate some socks, all of the socks. Like he ate like a full big sock, like a welly sock,
a full drawer,
like a big sock, and maybe it might be one of my socks.
Imagine him eating that like a python, like.
Yeah, why? Why is he? Like, why? What possessed him?
Because was it a complete? Like, he didn't chew it. He just swallowed a whole sock.
Yeah,
that's insane. Because he's a tiny dog.
Yeah, why did he eat a sock? Why? And then it was kind of stuck in his. I don't even know if we'd known he'd eaten the sock. And then I remember he kind of got a bit ill.
Oh, he
would. They said, "Oh, it turns out he's eating a sock."
Because he's eating a sock.
It was one of mine.
The size of him, like because
it was really long. It was like stuck in his stomach.
Oh.
I know.
He's a silly
and
boy.
then he had an operation. And then he came back with like a cone on and everything. And then I remember I drew a picture because his bed in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I drew like on an A4 piece of paper saying like "Welcome back, Christ and all."
Oh, you're so
And then I put like a picture of him with like in like a little hospital and everything. It was a little station.
Oh.
And then he ate my nan's tights. I swear it was tights.
Not while they were on.
No, imagine. My hand's there. Help! And then he had another operation. And then I remember again, I was quite young at this point, so I don't really remember properly. But I feel like the kind of the feeling was that if he ate another thing, he wouldn't be able to have another operation. Yeah. Like he wouldn't be able to handle it. So then it was like
muzzle time. We better put muzzle on him like all the time.
Not in the house.
No. But when he was out and about.
Yeah. So yeah.
He lasted a long time. How old was he when he finally went?
17.
He did really well.
17.
Because he was a childhood dog, and he only died like last year.
It's really strange, actually, that he died before we got married, but quite close. And it's very strange that like there's a picture of me with him, and I'm like a proper kid, like very young, and he was nearly around when I got married. Yeah, that's really weird.
He just plodded on.
But I think that what's important for that is that he just always went for walks, like long walks, and just like kept active and everything like that. Is there a pet that you would like? But is there like a rogue random animal that you would think like it'd be cool if I had this as a pet? The loris.
A slow loris.
Slow loris, which is these.
Although I've heard they're venomous.
Yeah.
I didn't realise. If someone could tell me, right, you can have any pet you want. There's no kind of like it wouldn't be harmful to have them because there are some pets.
It wouldn't be expensive either.
Yeah, because there are some pets that people would want to have, but it's harmful. You shouldn't have them as pets. Like it's bad. But if someone told me it's all good, they love being pets, they love it, it's good for them, and I could choose anything, I probably would go for like a very small little monkey, or like like those little pygmy monkeys, like the tiny little monkeys that just fit in your hand, or like a slow loris, something like that. But there's no way, you should never have a primate as a pet. You should never do that. Just saying that now is very bad. They shouldn't. No, they shouldn't.
No, I know.
But I'm saying if there was a world where they loved being
and someone sitting there with their gorilla now.
Yeah. I think I would really like a cat. I think we will get a cat one day. It's just a matter of when.
No, I don't.
Why?
Because, well, no, we could.
Let's talk through the pros and cons of having a cat. Pros, we get a cat, which is great.
Cons, ruins furniture that we've bought.
But there's ways around that. You give them like other scratching spaces.
Yeah, but what if they don't do that and they scratch the sofa?
But they'd be so cute. They go, I'm sorry.
No, it would be annoying. It would be annoying. It makes me sad, actually.
You're gonna be.
It makes me really sad because I know you want a cat, but I feel really bad because I really don't.
No, I'll be honest. My want for a cat is not big enough for it to make me sad. It's not like I'm desperate for a cat.
You seem pretty desperate then.
No, I mean, I go through waves. I do go through waves because I do think there are lots of pros and cons of having any animal. Like, it means that you suddenly have a tie to your house.
Well, what would we're going to Japan.
I know, cats are easier because there are lots, dogs are harder because dogs feel your absence a lot more. Dogs are a lot more like, where have you gone? And they get really sad and stressed.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas
cats don't care.
Why am I paying for insurance and food and drink for a cat that wouldn't even miss me if I was gone? You're saying that a cat wouldn't be bothered.
I'm sure there's lots of studies on it. They probably are bothered, but they're less bothered.
I doubt it.
Okay.
Your cat, Laura, your childhood cat, just went to the next door neighbour and wasn't bothered.
Time.
Probably wouldn't have even known the difference.
Okay, can we get a hamster then?
No, I don't even want a pet, really, to be honest.
No, I'll be honest. Pets, unless they're low maintenance, I don't feel. Why do people get pets then? Because they're a lot of responsibility. Why do you think people are drawn to getting pets? Because they are hard work.
I think if you're just used to getting one when you're a child, if you just get that presence of an animal in the house.
Yeah.
Also, like, imagine if you've got a dog and you've had a dog for like 15 years and then it dies. The easiest thing to soften that blow is to just get another dog.
Sure.
Rather than, you don't have to have that emptiness of the house. You just get another one.
So it's kind of just like a part of the furniture. It's like living without a sofa. You'd feel like, well, I've got to have a sofa in the house. Possibly. Like, I've got to have a dog in the house.
Yeah,
I get it with dogs because I feel like dogs they become a part of the family. They become especially big dogs.
Like a presence in the house.
Yeah, I can imagine that feeling really odd without one.
Yeah.
But because we've never, obviously you grew up with a dog, but as a couple, we've never had a dog. It doesn't feel like our life together is missing it because you associate dogs with like your childhood. I've never had a dog, so I don't feel missing anything. And I think because we have such flexible work and such flexible jobs, if we suddenly got a dog, it would feel very much like, okay, I know your work is flexible, but your life isn't because you've got to be at home. You can't just go away. You've got a dog. You've got to think about the dog now. But
it's another plate to spin, isn't it? Imagine in life you've got lots of spinning plates.
And it's expensive, nothing to pay for.
Yeah, loads.
Like, it's loads. It's the food, it's the insurance, if they have to go to the vet. Like, there's a lot of stuff. I think, but the thing is, we love dogs. Like, absolutely adore dogs. Like, we're talking like, oh, I don't think we'll get a dog. We're obsessed with dogs, but other people's dogs. Because there's no element of you've got to pay for them. There's no element of like, you've got the responsibility. You can just go, oh, and just do all that stuff and then go home.
Yeah.
I think, and I like keeping it that way.
We play a game sometimes when we're driving home. If we're about 5 minutes away from home, we'll play a game where we both guess how many dogs we will see before we reach home.
And my dad has 2 big dogs, and we see those a lot, and that kind of fills a bit of a gap for us, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Because we view them as partly our dogs as well.
They're not our dogs.
Well, they're my dad's dogs, so they kind of feel like connected to me.
Yeah, yeah.
But
what about like a horse? Would you ever get a horse?
No, because that all weather, you've got to be out, like rain, cold, mucking out all this. Oh, no.
Yeah, but that's like, it's almost like a hobby to have a horse as well, isn't it?
I'm also a bit scared of horses. They can do serious damage to you. They can like kick you in the chest and like really hurt.
I was watching a film the other day.
Yeah.
Weirdly, Alien.
Yeah.
And there was an alien in it, and Michael Fassbender was blowing into the face of the alien. Right. And then he said something like this, and I don't know, this must be true. He said, if you blow into the nostrils of a horse, it will trust you for life, or something, apparently. And that's how you gain that connection with a horse, is that you blow into the nostrils of a horse or something. That's how it like knows who you are, and you kind of build that connection, apparently. Do
you remember that horse at my mum's wedding? And it said, don't go too close.
Is that what it said? Did it say that?
Maybe it didn't.
I don't think it said that.
But there's
I think people said like, you can just go and say hello to the horses.
There's a really funny picture of Bedouin's like posing with it, and then you can see the horse going.
The horse bit my shoulder.
Because they do just sometimes just snap. Yeah, horses not for me. I'm not a horse person, but that's fine. But let's see what our pet journey will be in the future. Who knows? We might
What's
get
your prediction?
cat. My prediction is we have children and those children say, we want a pet. And then we end up doing what my parents did and we start with fish and then we do hamsters.
God.
And then we do cat.
I predict... Oh, I don't know.
I predict a retirement dog. I think we get a dog when we're retired.
Maybe, yeah.
Like a little easy dog when we're retired. Well, should we go to the pet shop?
Hey, there's one near us, and there's a parrot.
And he's crazy.
There's a crazy
He's like
parrot.
this.
What's his name again? Mickey.
Yeah, he's always feathers are falling out, and he's old. He's crazy.
He's
parrot.
feral.
Yeah, some people have birds as pets as well. I couldn't do that. Too much work.
Anyway, right.
Till next time.
I'll see you soon.
Adios.
I'll see you right now.